really strange. I have a really stable connection except for those times where it just drops to 0 right at the start of the stream. And then just goes fine for the rest of it. It's just like there's this minute window where I'm at 0. And I can connect to everything else. Who knows? Stream going. Drop the link in places. Oh, it's a same thing I was drinking last night. The thing I call cursed beer because it is cursed. It's a local brand, right? From a local brewery. And they actually, I should probably tell you about it on stream because it's a hilarious story. Alright. Twitter. God, I love my Monday tweets, by the way. It might be egotistical to love you. It's horrifying. I really liked last week's because it was pointing out the fact that the mouse cursor isn't actually a straight line. What? I do hear that. Oh, I thought that would be a dog for how loud it was. Nice D. Alright.
Let's do another countdown.
Oh, no, I just hit go. Whoops. It's fine. It's
All
fine.
right,
Off to a-
greetings everyone. Greetings
off to a
everyone.
great start.
All right.
Ah, all right. Usually it doesn't, because I can still, like, download stuff. Okay, reconnection successful. Reconnecting to chat. Still at 0 up. Oh my god, what is this?
Ooh. Cold in this room.
Why is this happening again? Thought they
Why
fixed
is it happening?
Oh, holy crap, it just spiked up to... Alright. Alright, I think we're good now. I think we're finally good now. We are live and it's good now.
All right, all right, all right. So as I was saying, Allbones Jones, would you like to see the sound of this quote-unquote toy that I bought for
Yes.
$15? Listen
Yes.
to this, Jones. It's absurd, it's absurd. Sinners, listen to this. I bought a quote-unquote toy for $15. Listen to this.
Holy crap, that is loud. What? That's a Nerf gun?
It is firing Nerf darts, Allbones Jones. These are Nerf darts.
What on earth?
Do you hear that?
Okay. I do hear that. That's nuts.
The velocity of these projectiles could kill a mosquito, Jones.
I mean, so could most things. Mosquitoes are delicate.
Right, but it's still terrifying nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, that sound is pretty terrifying. Also,
Here, go for it.
welcome, Aegon Ion, Goblin Man the Undertaker, Mao the Doog, Hazmat VT, Nicomancer Krudos, Hackzips06, Russian Bro, and Cool Boy Mew.
So
Yes,
behold
Russian-
this. Yes.
Yes,
That is
Russian
the
Bro, that's
idea.
correct. I convinced Congo to have this collab in my channel to leech his clout.
But look at this. It's just a magazine-fed quote-unquote toy.
That is... I'm gonna bring this up on freaking...
Please do, please do.
Can I just drag it here, or is Discord? Discord is terrible. I hate Discord. I hate Discord, but I want to go back to IRC.
If only we had IRC, if only we had Mibbits. And whatever
Oh,
people
man.
use for browser IRC.
If only things were good like they used to be instead of bad like they are nowadays.
They are right now. But this is such a great plinking toy. There's a range of 40 meters, it says on the box.
That is... Wow, that is in reach.
But again, they are harmless. Well, relatively harmless
Quote,
projectiles
unquote,
made of
harmless.
foam. Quote unquote harmless, made of foam.
Let me shrink this down a bit. Yeah! Look at this thing.
It is a gun.
That's too far. Look
If
at
it
this
was
behemoth.
painted, if it was painted black, you just assume it was a gun, right?
Right?
It's
It even
the-
has the magazine and everything.
It is a literal magazine-fed pistol. I love this thing. I love this thing. It's honestly far too strong. It's incredible what they allow children to have these days.
It is. I can't think of a weapon more dangerous than what iPhone do to your brain.
The mental poisoning of the iPhone.
The deadliest of all.
What could be deadlier than that, honestly? The
Oh,
darts
I should-
hurt a bit. Yes, they do leave a, how do I say this, slight welts if they're shot at close range.
I should talk about what I'm drinking, because I've titled this story a couple of times, but it's always a good story.
Please do, tell us about it.
So, there's a local brewery around here, right?
You have it.
And they did something wrong when brewing.
Something wrong.
I don't know the details, because brewerying is not one of the things that I've done before.
Right, you're not a brewer yourself. But tell me about it, what happened?
They made it way too strong.
Oh, it's the secret special stuff.
Yes, and they could not legally sell it as a beer because it was too strong to qualify
It
as
was
one.
too strong, yes.
So they're just
I mean-
like, well, we can't do anything with this batch. We'll give it to you for like $1. Here's 8 cases.
That's a good deal. That's a good deal right there, Jones.
And, it's like... I mean, it varies between can to can, but it's like almost as strong as vodka.
So what? It's like 80% alcohol?
Closer to 40%.
Alright, so it's not quite vodka level then, but it's still quite strong. It's 40%. That is 8 times stronger than normal beer, Jones.
Yes. And it also gives you 8 times the chance of a headache, or not headache, of a hangover.
Hangover, yes.
And the hangover's 8 times as bad.
So I'm just having Kirin Strong Freeze Mixed Berries, which is 9% alcohol. By comparison. That's it, I do have the can just for this. I thought you'd appreciate the can noise, so I do have a can just for this.
Do you have a can just for this? Okay.
So, shall we crack it open, Jones?
I've already cracked mine, but let's go.
Alright then, cheers, Jones!
Cheers. The beer is so strong I have to cut it with something, because otherwise I can't drink it, and I drink neat vodka.
I mean, how do I say this? Vodka's relatively clear. This super beer, this cursed, ungodly beer, is just concentrated beer, so I understand why you'd have to water it down. And I'm glad you enjoy my voice, Stat Jam 2021.
Yeah, it'll knock you out like nothing else. Like, I had 3 of these last night, and I, got drunk to the point where I started punching steel again.
You started shadow boxing the invisible demons that plague you day to day.
No, it was regular boxing into steel with my knuckles. And they hurt.
I was talking the other day about, how do I say this? How my butt drop could probably kill a man, but it's hard to make a sound, honestly.
Butt drop? Like sitting on someone?
Yes, butt drop. Yes, just dropping your butt down on someone.
Huh. I mean, I guess you're heavy enough for that.
Yes, if you're 130 kilograms, you could definitely kill a man with your rear.
I mean, yeah, if you can... Especially with my freaking Hank Hill butt.
Ooh, do you have a Hank Hill butt, old bones Joe?
Concentrating all of that power into a tiny area could probably punch straight through steel with it.
That's a shame, old bones Jones. You're sitting cushioning, come on.
Oh, you're telling me. Do you know how many chairs I've destroyed by accident by just sitting in them?
Especially those plastic chairs, right? Monoblocks die. Monoblocks shrivel as our presence.
Oh, those things. Yes, even if I sit down gentle on them, they're just warped. It's horrible. They're unusable.
They are unusable. I don't know the number of monoblocks I've destroyed. So when I sit on a monoblock, what I do is I stack 2 of them at the same time. So they're reinforced just enough to take my weight.
That's a good trick. If I ever
You
find
should,
2 of them, I'll try that.
Well, I mean, let's say that you go to, how do I say, a tuckery or whatever, right? Just get 2 of them. Just get 2 of them. Rather than have you and your friend sit, say, stand up so I can sit down on these 2 monoblock chairs.
Yeah, screw the other one who gets a seat.
Say, I am building my throne of lies. I'm waiting for my tacos.
Oh, actually, I just remembered something. This is, I think I tweeted about this a while back, but it still kind of blows my mind, and it's very relevant to what's going on in the background right now.
Alright.
I found out that this place actually has Japanese style, like... God, what's the term?
Architecture?
Not architecture,
Festivals?
like the celebrations, the festivals. Yes, Japanese style festivals. In the summer and in the new year.
Well, you can see Japanese characters right there.
Yeah! But there's like no Japanese people here, and I think it's just a couple of weebs got on like the planning boards.
Oh, it's incredible.
And like,
Well, I mean, go for it.
It's just, it blows my mind. There's no cultural connections to Japan here whatsoever. But like,
It happens, doesn't it?
there's Japanese festivals here for no reason.
So, Blitzer the boss, let me blow your mind right now. Obones Jones might look and sound like Papyrus, but Is that Sans from Undertale? My god, what a high-profile guess you've gotten, Jones.
Right? Man, I didn't know this was an Earthbound stream. Let me change the category.
Oh, no, it's mother, do it properly, Jones. It's the dumbest impression that I picked up merely to impress children. But they're still impressed by it to this day, Jones. They love it.
I mean, it's a great trick.
I have no idea what else I could use it for, but it's funny. And that's all that's important.
You only need a thing that does one thing. It's fine. You
Right.
don't need your handgun to be a can opener.
And yes, it is a Papyrus and Sans collaboration. Dun, dun, da, 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 da.
The one game I will never stream on this channel.
Entirely reasonable, entirely reasonable. Are you certain though? Undertale would definitely get people to watch.
I don't got a lot of standards, and most of them are double standards.
My only standard will not stream Undertale.
Let's stream Undertale. Never.
That's what I'm talking about. Look at that. Alphonse Jones is a man of morals after all, sinners.
That's right. Even if you bought it for me.
Greetings, Sword Shoe.
Don't. Okay, let's change the subject before Aegon finds my weakness.
Alright. Give me just a second. I am quickly going to gather all those darts I fired, just because.
Alright.
Because I don't want anyone, especially not my cat, Nacho Maru, to eat them off the floor.
Right, and your cat was going stupid earlier, wasn't it?
Nacho Maru's the dumbest cat in the world. All other cats are far smarter than me. I am picking these darts off the floor. They're a choking hazard for the children.
Alright.
As we gather these darts, we think.
What you mean, Blitz up the
all
boss?
the dark
Name of a Halloween song. I get you, yeah.
Where
Yeah, it's a
the
good
hell
name.
did
It's the best
those
name, and you can tell that because it's
last
mine.
few go?
I swear Congo sloshed already at this rate.
I know. Is he old boner Jonah? I don't think so. Come on. How can such a say-so man be a boner?
Right?
Oh,
Not like it. Actually, I probably nah.
this is far more difficult than it has any right to be. Maybe
Why
if
are
it
you-
did fires 150 goddamn frames per second. This
Why-
would go faster.
Why didn't you just fire them
But
to
I can
somewhere
find the
nearby
rest
so it's
later.
easy
It's
to
not
pick
that
them
big
back
of a
up?
deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, just a moment. What a great usage of collaboration time, isn't that right, Jones? 1, 2,
One of
3,
a kind
4,
usage,
5,
that's
6,
for sure.
7, 8, 9. So I'm only missing one. I'm only missing one. And I am going to look for it.
Alright.
Because God forbid. My
God
cousin's gonna
forbid.
Because I live
Alright.
in the barrel. No.
You know, I was drinking last night, too.
Well, so it goes, everyone.
Aegon was there. He was there for that. He knew what was going on. I think he got there after I, like, stumbled and fallen over and punched the ground hard enough to get myself upright.
Alright, I've returned.
Ah, he's back.
You should always sing while cleaning, Agoneon. Making monotonous tasks interesting for yourself, mentally stimulating, is very important.
Is it?
It is. Do you know that monotony is boring?
I mean, maybe, but usually when I'm doing a monotonous task, I can just let the body do the work and think about other things and plan stuff. How many cases of cursed beer do I have left? Like,
How many cases of cursed beer do you have left?
4 or 5? Too many. Far too many. Sit down, children. I'm gonna sing you a ghost story about All Bones Jones. Can't wait.
You can't
for
wait for more Yab streams.
Hopefully.
No, All Bones Jones would never be Yab.
Yeah. There's absolutely no evidence of that because that video's unarchived.
Right? Why would I be here if there were any abs? Right?
Right?
And I definitely wouldn't be plinking things while in a collaboration where I'm supposed to be talking, where there's supposed to be a Zotsadon, right? I never do that.
You wouldn't. Why are you doing that?
To be fair, what could be better than drinking and shooting? That's the American pastime.
Ah, yes, the hold my beer. Oh man, I don't think I've ever actually done that. I've gone shooting and I've gone drinking, but I've never gone shooting and
But you haven't
drinking.
done drinking and shooting. You know why? Because you have a brain cell.
I mean, I've done other stuff that's probably more dangerous, but
At least you haven't done that. Alright,
At least I
I've
haven't
had enough
done
of that nonsense. That bit's over. That was a funny bit nonetheless.
alright. Enough Nerf gunning.
Enough Nerf gunning.
Now, I did actually want to talk about some of my work stories, because I've like got a bunch of them at this point, because this new... I mean, it's not technically a dungeon, it's kind of complicated. It has a bunch of really interesting stuff going on in it.
I'm about to allow you to speak about the Nerf story, but let me talk about a Nerf gun one more time.
Alright, go ahead, take it away, Congo.
There's one on the market that straight up looks like a pistol, and you will get shot if you wave this at anyone. Look at this.
Uh-oh. Oh, yeah, let me... Even has
If
the
you-
magazines and magazine
if you
holsters.
d- If you just point this at someone, they will be forced to assume it's a gun. There is no world in which you'd look at it and think it's a toy.
I mean, it is painted bright orange. Does have that
That
advantage.
might not be enough. That might not be enough. In certain places. And especially
Oh, yeah.
not if you're pointing it at a police officer.
Let's take a look at this. It's covering up chat, but who cares? Nobody cares about chat.
It's
No
a
one cares
gun.
about filthy viewer scum.
It's a gun, sinners. It's a gun.
It's like... Almost literally just a regular... You could just paint this black and it'd be a very
This
convincing
would be a
thing.
gun, yes. You could rob a bank with it at that point. What do you think, sinners? Isn't that just a gun?
Yeah? It's literally just a gun.
It's literally just a gun, yes. So it has an internal magazine. And it, again, fires at the same speed, more or less, 150 frames
What
per
the
second.
heck is up with Nerf guns nowadays?
Right? Again,
Genuinely.
children are so privileged. Children are so privileged, honestly.
Back in my day, we had just a single shot thing that you had to load it in by throwing in the barrel and then manually lighting the gunpowder to get the dart out.
Right. You have to get a Nerf musket. Someone did 3D print a Nerf musket. It looks fantastic.
Actually, are there those? There's probably something close to those.
Hand it over. Let's see it.
Let's find out. That's a quick Google away. Nerf musket.
Greetings, Razul. This will be the first results on YouTube.
No, but someone made a Nerf wheel lock, apparently.
Ooh, exciting.
What? Utterly bizarre. What? Why?
The ingenuity of mankind. On full display, All Bones Jones.
Why?
Why? Because they want to shoot things without actually endangering anything.
Nerf pizza.
Nerf pizza cutter, do you want it? Here, I have it right here.
I mean, everything's a pizza cutter if you use it hard enough.
No, but it's literally a Nerf pizza cutter.
Wait, what?
I mean, it's not for cutting pizza, but close enough. Just a moment.
Look at this. A Nerf wheel lock.
So here we go, here we go, here we go. There we are, that's what I was looking for. So there's just this attachment. You can attach 2 pizza cutters to the ends of your weapon, just in case.
Oh, no.
Just in case you feel like it. So a given Nerf gun might look like this, assuming you have enough pizza cutters in stock. Behold, this looks like the sort of Nerf gun that All Bones Jones would use even.
Oh, no. What? Nerf pizza? Is this like one of those chain swords? Oh my god.
This is the modular system taken to its limit. When are we getting nerf siege weapons? You never know, Someday.
Nerf catapult.
Nerf catapult, nerf trebuchet, the nerf trebuchet catapult wars.
Nerf petard.
Do you remember how do I say this? Trebuchet. Talking about trebuchets. All Bones Jones. Trebuchet posting, I suppose, is the word for it.
Trebuchet posting. Oh yeah, when people are like, you know, a girlfriend will leave you, but siege weaponry won't.
Right. Well, can a girlfriend launch a rock 90 meters away with a velocity of several hundred miles per second?
I mean, if she can, put a ring on it.
Right. Girlfriend's inferior to trebuchets, honestly.
True.
But as you can see, this is the All Bones Jones Nerf gun.
What
you can barely see the gun at this point.
Nerf
so each of those, how do I say this, rosary saws is a shuriken, basically, that you can pull out and throw at people. And so they've done nothing but attach rosary saws to this Nerf quote-unquote gun.
I mean, I guess anything's a gun if you're determined enough.
Right, anything is a gun if you're determined enough, right?
Just
900
really
kilogram projectile over 300 meters. Poggers!
Oh, man.
I've already finished my first can, so I'll wait a bit for my second one. Go for it. Tell me some work stories, Jones.
Oh, man, work stories. I have, like, a bunch of them written down, actually. Because
Alright.
There's so many, and they're so absurd.
Nerf cannon exists. Nerf longbow exists. Nerf crossbow exists. Nerf Zweihander soon.
That's just a LARP weapon, ain't it? The foam LARP weapon, but yeah, oh my god, so
I mean, it could be a
explain
PVC core LARP weapon, yes, but go for it.
I gotta explain a little bit about where I work, right?
Alright.
So, I say it's sort of a dungeon, it's kind of a complicated thing. Basically, maintaining a dungeon year-round is expensive, right?
Naturally.
So, what they do is they rent out individual chambers for a dungeon in this massive mega complex.
Yes,
people
this
who
dungeon.
need it on demand. So it's like an on-demand dungeon, sort of like renting office space?
So it's like an apartment dungeon, so to speak.
Kind of, but it's all like really temporary stuff.
An event space dungeon, alright? Tell me more about it. Tell me more about this dungeon.
I mean, most of it I can't go into too much detail because of, you know, NDAs, but...
Naturally.
Nerf Mask of the Father, let's go. What rings you got?
Giants, become unstoppable.
I mean, I could rant all day about the legal implications of this and who's considered ownership for all this, blah, 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 blah. But all you really need to know is that people show up and they leave, and there's a lot of shady classified stuff going on there, and like half of the income is just it being used as cover for like prostitution and drug dealing.
In the mystery dungeon, naturally, alright.
But yeah, it sees a lot of really, really weird stuff going on there.
That's what happens when you're a bouncer, or even a security guard.
Yeah, I've got some bouncing stories too, but like
Got
there's
some
this guy,
bouncing
right?
stories.
The single most stereotypical rogue getup I had ever seen. Where
Oh, look
all
at that.
black, had a fucking dagger about 8 inches long, right?
Alright.
And he was just brandishing it, holding it close to himself, in a dark alleyway, like a couple of blocks away, right?
Alright.
And I was keeping an eye on him, because, you know...
I mean, he has a knife, yes.
He has a knife, he visibly has a knife, he's carrying it, he might be looking to mug people. Definitely don't want him coming onto this place.
No, of course not.
So I was keeping a close eye on him, and then, you know, all of a sudden I heard footsteps to my right.
Pitter-patter, pitter-patter, pitter-patter. What's coming from your right?
Well, I turned around, because normally I can tell when someone's coming even if I can't hear them. But I couldn't tell this guy was coming. I looked to the right, and there was this guy wearing some, you know, ratty, very well-worn clothing.
Ooh.
Carrying
met a real life
an
Polo,
unsheathed
incredible.
katana.
As you heard, sinners, this man unsheathed the katana.
He literally unsheathed the katana.
Do you know where my
And, like-
family is, Joe?
That was what was going through my head when this was happening. I was like, oh god, why did that guy come
Where
here?
my family is.
And, he was close enough that if, charged in and slashed, I wouldn't have been able to get out of the way or react short of trying to catch it and counter.
Alright.
But, I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he kept looking at me, and you can see him tensing up, ready for a strike, right?
Of course.
Not actually making the motions to actually strike, but there was a physical tension in his body from someone that was about to attack.
When you coil and prepare yourself to slice, yes.
Yes. I tensed back up, ready to catch it, because there were only a couple of angles that he could have done from the position he was in, and
of course,
all of them were going to be coming towards my left again. And, I got ready to counter, he was staring at me, I was staring at him.
It's the stare down.
And then he sheathed his katana and walked away.
Good call, avoided an encounter.
No words were exchanged, I have no idea what that guy's deal with, I have no idea how he managed to sneak up on me like that. But just some guy with a katana just showed up. This is why I've got that chainmail on my throne wish list, guys. I actually need that. They don't provide me with armor that's good against, edged weapons.
I mean, you do need chainmail.
I do.
What's going to happen? How often do you get shanked, right?
Not very, actually.
Because slashing is much more common than shanking.
Yes, and much, much less threatening.
Right? Significantly less threatening.
Even if you've got, 1 or 2 layers of clothing on you, if a guy comes at you with a knife and goes for a slash, you just catch it on your clothing and then counter hit and you're fine.
But imagine, what if someone came at you with a screwdriver? You'd know this person was serious.
Yep.
You go, why is this person trying to kill me specifically? Did I do something to him? Did I kill his family?
Yeah, I know plenty of people who specifically carried around screwdrivers to kill people in case they needed to.
That's me. I'm one of those people.
It gets the job done. It's depth of penetration that kills people, not, breadth of the wound. Hey,
so I was talking earlier about the ideal halberd, which is just taping 2 screwdrivers to the ends of a PVC pipe. It's the cheapest halberd you can make. It can slash, or rather not slash, but it can make a slashing motion. It can make a thrust.
Is that even a halberd at that point?
No, so you point one screwdriver and then the other screwdriver at a right angle from each other. So one's pointing forwards and the other's pointing in one direction. It's a halberd. I suppose you could call it Lucerne if you want to be very picky about it.
I would. Oh, and speaking of being picky about it,
Rings Valence the Vulture.
Is it Lucerne or Lucerne? I never actually looked that up.
I think it's Lucerne, but you never know how things are pronounced. I don't think it matters. English is fake anyway.
Actually, it does matter for this story because the name, believe it or not, comes from a specific region where a bunch of these weapons were found over in Switzerland.
Alright, tell me about the Lucerne. What a Lucerne?
They just found a bunch of pole hammers hanging out in a building somewhere that were pretty well preserved, and were like, well, this is a weird hammer that we have only seen in this place, so I guess we're gonna call it after this place.
Oh, the mystical Warhammer.
Yes, two-handed polehammer Warhammer, but the
only
hilarious part about this
go for it.
is the way it ties back into Dark Souls, because in Demon Souls,
back to Dark Souls, let's go!
Yes! Because in Demon Souls, they call it the Murdan hammer, because there's a hammer from Murdan, right?
Of course,
This is a location in universe. But in Dark Souls, they just call it a Lucerne.
Because Murdan doesn't exist in
Murdan doesn't exist, but apparently Switzerland does. And there's your deep Dark Souls lore for the day.
There's also the S-Talk, right?
Switzerland is canon to Dark Souls.
Of course, from the neutral territory of Dark Souls. Where people keep all of their souls. It's just nothing but a soul repository.
Oh, I really ought to do a Dark Souls lore stream some of the days. Some of my weird oddball streams get lots of viewers in lots of weird places.
I mean, I definitely enjoy a Dark Souls lore stream from you.
I mean, I feel like I could just bullshit as hard as possible and it would be incredible.
Right, you go, oh, actually, the pendant is completely useless, but you know what actually has a use? Dumb pies.
No, I mean, I'm thinking more like tying to the Chrono Trigger continuity to Dark Souls.
If you drop a dung pie right here in the middle of the shrine, you will offer praise to Lavos, who will show up to end your game.
No, I can do it without lying.
I'm
I
messing
can just
with you. I know you
sort of
can.
stretch the details. Like, I mean, Dark Souls is already canon to the Mario universe. Anyone knows that.
Right. Wow!
You got that big old painting that leads to Cool Mountain in the first game. It's obvious. And don't pretend otherwise. If you zoom out on the map, it has that descending spiral shape that matches Cool Mountain. I'm serious. And in that same area, when Ornstein powers up, he gets bigger. Same as a mushroom.
Maybe the person who painted the Painted World was just a Mario fan.
But if he's a Mario fan, that would imply that Mario media exists in Dark Souls, which is close enough.
The thing is, yes, it could have been sent to him in a dream. If you had consistent dreams about Mario and Mario did not exist, how would you feel?
What? How do I answer that question?
Answer it right now, Jones. Me staying here is contingent on you answering that. If you had dreams about Mario in a world where Mario did not exist, how would you feel? What would you think dreaming about Mario as a medieval peasant? How about that? There we are.
I would probably talk to a priest about it and try to get what's going on.
Would you parse Mario as a demon?
I mean, depending on your definition of demon, yes or no. But I would definitely classify it as an extant entity. Whether that's a demon or something else, that's debatable based on opinions.
Alright, what if instead of being a medieval peasant, you dreamed of Mario in the 1920s?
I'd assume the Italian mafia was screwing with me. Somehow.
So they're influencing your dreams with hallucinogenics.
Or dark magic or whatever. You know how it is.
The Italian mafia would not be beyond such things. They would absolutely curse you if they knew a witch good enough.
They would. Oh man. That's one of the weird things about organized crime. I mean, that's a weird thing about this place in general, how much just people are doing magic crap all the time. Weird.
I mean, it's low risk, right? It's low risk. The only risk is the magic itself. You're very unlikely to.
Someone with it, they could send it back at you, and you would take whatever damage you were trying to do.
That's right, but they would have to be a magician themselves. It's like pulling out a gun. It's not guaranteed the other person has a gun.
That's true. That is very true. But they could also, if the damage is lingering, they could consult a different magician.
Ooh, you're right. They could just start spreading debuffs around.
Yep.
I read a tweet the other day. You know what? Before anything else, because I don't want to continue on the line of I read a tweet the other day. I think I'd like to avoid that line.
All right, fair. Yeah, I don't read Twitter. I just post on it.
So let me show you something that has been on my mind lately. All right?
Oh?
Watch this video.
Alright, I could probably add this as a browser source, but then I wouldn't be able to hear it.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I can hear it or not. You can just watch it yourself.
I'll just watch it myself. Plague Doctor Gangsta Paradise.
Look at the swagger of this man.
Oh, I saw this! I think I saw Doc Pestis retweet this, actually.
That's Doc Pestis, because that's just Doc Pestis. He's doxing himself.
That's literally just Doc Pestis doxing
That's literally
himself.
Doc Pestis, right? Sinners, this is Doc Pestis, right?
It
Doc
literally
Pestis.
is. I'm not at all surprised Plague Doctor, the look, is making a comeback in recent times.
It's the ideal time for it, right?
It really is.
Greetings, Magpie0928.
Hey, Magpie, I haven't seen you since, yesterday.
Wait, yesterday? That's a lifetime ago.
Right? Yeah,
Why haven't
Magpie.
they been waiting? Why haven't they been waiting in your chat while your thing was offline?
Oh, I
How
can answer
loyal
that
can they
one
be?
because I love to raid while I'm offline, and anyone that's dumb enough to lurk in my chat or watch the VODs gets sent to whoever I'm trying to troll.
When was your last offline raid, Jones? And who
Oh
did you
god,
raid?
like less than 10 hours ago?
That's what I'm talking about. Who did you raid?
I think it was probably both Aegon and Arthur at different points because, you know...
Both Aegon and Arthur getting those
Yeah.
A raids.
VOD watchers have... Oh, also kongouVT. That's 3 offline raids yesterday.
Why do you do it so much? How many offline raids are you going to perform?
It's a great way to announce that my magnificent self has landed in the stream.
I mean, it's not even as if you watch. You just raid them and then you leave.
Kind of, actually, yeah. I showed up in Patella's stream just long enough to raid and then fucked off and went drinking with people.
You go, hello, I'm Allbones Jones, raids, leave. What are they going to say? That one person raid, that 2-person raid's not real? That's what I'm talking about, Bonzo!
Oh shit, Bunzel!
Come at us!
Welcome, Bunzel!
Thank you for the offline raid, Bunzel.
3 viewers with an offline raid, damn!
Right? Pretty impressive.
That is
Those are
some
big
VOD viewer
numbers.
abuse.
Those are some big numbers.
Hell yeah!
Wait,
Partner is
let me
within
see.
my grasp.
Let me see if I can increase that number. Give me just a moment.
Hell yeah! Jostle my algo position with all these raids. Let's go!
Let's go. No. How could this be?
What? No? What?
How could this be?
How could what be?
I do have 3 viewers here somehow. I don't know how that happens.
It's fine. Viewer scum is less than human, and it's free to abuse them. It's morally correct to.
If you're watching, how do I say this? Evod right now, my sympathy to you.
Anyway, kongouVT, thank you so much for the raid. What were you streaming?
I was streaming drinking with Allbones Jones. Did you know that?
Ooh, that's some top quality entertainment. You should
That's ideal
definitely check out
entertainment right
that
there.
video.
This man is taking people from the lands of dreams and bringing them to his own stream.
It's powerful. It's such a good move.
You know what? You know how people host? You know how people host other people? They go, oh, hosting with 1 viewer. Isn't this just far funnier, just in every way?
It is, because there's almost always someone lurking in those streams.
It
And
also
you can just-
hosts anyway, right?
Right?
Because you raid someone, it also hosts anyway for the duration
It
of their stream.
auto-hosts them, and you get an alert on their stream, because there's almost always someone, and even if they have it set up to disable 1-person raids, there's usually 2 people in there.
Right. That's the secret right there. If that was me, I would have written a poem for both of those Allbones Jones. I'm not a person that would doubt the power of offline raids.
Oh, man. It's a shame you can't raid yourself, actually, because I think it'd be hilarious to watch you try and write a raid poem for yourself.
I absolutely could. Come at us, Aegon Aeon, please.
Aegon here for the free club. Let's fucking go.
Even a big streamer can host people and get 1 viewer themselves. I saw it yesterday.
Big streamer. I mean, I know viewers can also do that kind of stuff, which is hysterical. One of the things I really ought to do is just have a gimmick stream where I require people to raid me before they can chat.
It's simple, it's simple, it's simple, it's simple. As long as you get anything out of it, you might as well do it.
Right? I mean, I'm pretty sure it jostles your algo positioning. I don't know that for a fact. I haven't read enough of the Twitch source code. But I'm sure it probably does something.
The mystery of Twitch.
I haven't ever streamed. Why can I do that? Because it's funny. Also, actually trying to, like, get things to have specific differences between viewer accounts and, streamer accounts.
I mean, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Just put a very minimal cap of like 25 followers.
I mean, but what if they just started out? Or just put a cap of like 1 person having streamed for at least a minute.
I mean, there are various ways to do it, right? There are various ways to do it.
But
like,
I mean,
both of those are gameable, but I suppose the second one would at least take more effort.
But here's the question: how would Twitch benefit from implementing that?
Well, I suppose they wouldn't be wasting as much, how do I say this, their infrastructure. I wonder how much impact hosts and raids even do.
That's
I
true,
don't think much,
bro.
right?
There are a bunch of viewers that do have followers. There are some particularly based viewers that go around causing all sorts of chaos and havoc that I like to follow.
Reasonable, Valence the Voyager. I'm glad that you were able to raid me as well. I suppose it can just be, yes, 1 hour of streaming, right?
I mean, I guess, but they could also just, you know, hit a start streaming button and just, like, have a muted source and do nothing.
Yes, but the thing is that they would have to actually do that. They would have to actually go out of their way to do that.
But they'd already be the sort of person, if that's the sort of person who would be doing, like, offline raids, they'd be willing to do that just to spread a little bit more chaos.
Just for the jag, just for the joke,
yep.
just for the gist.
There even
is there any viewer that has been around one and does not have followers? How many followers do you have, Pixely Keys? Let me see. How big are you? How much clout do we get from having you here?
Yes. What is your clout value?
10 followers? My god. We're getting so much clout from Pixely Kisa.
Yeah, I should tell all of them to follow me if I haven't already. Start up the stream real quick and say, hey, go follow Allbones Jones, and then just hang up.
Soak up that clout like bread soaks up olive oil.
Delicious, delicious clout. 11 now. Oh shit.
That's what I'm talking about. By the way, and as I say all the time, though Mithril Dicky has improved them, you still do have the worst emotes on Twitch.
They're so good, man.
The energy of rest in peace is still one of the best. One of the worst.
It's so good. It's horrifying. It's horrible to look at.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
I love Allbone RTX though. It's incredibly unlook-atable. You cannot look at it.
No ray tracing allowed.
What are really fun things you can do with it? Callie Calico, you know her. She hates this emote. She hates it with a passion.
Greetings, Birdballs.
So if I'm ever seeing her online, I just have my raid message be that emote and flood her chat with it.
You go RTX.
It's horrible. Oh, I did find another emote that I really, really like.
Please do tell.
Something from Aegon's channel. Not that I'd ever sub to that guy, because subbing to
What does Aegon have? What does Aegon have? Unlock it, unlock it. Cringe.
That's great two-part emote.
Cringe.
It's got the exclamation points, too, like an actual Dark Souls status effect.
How long would it take to build up cringe? What would cause cringe? You have to use an existing enemy. What would cause cringe?
What would cause cringe? Oh,
so it doesn't be an enemy that already exists.
That's easy. It's just like the cursed Dark Souls mod. You build up cringe passively when you see someone else doing the Fortnite dance.
No, but I was asking something very specific. The actual Dark Souls, the original game. If one enemy in the game would inflict cringe on you, which would it be? That's the real question.
What is the cringiest Dark Souls
What is the cringiest Dark Souls enemy in Dark Souls 1 specifically?
I mean, my answer would probably have to be the people that leave messages half the time. Every time you reach Amazing Chest Ahead, you immediately get cursed. Oh, God. It's horrible. I mean, Amazing Chest Ahead was funny the first time I saw it outside Quaylog's boss room. Now I refuse to read any messages in the vicinity.
It is just going to be plastered all across the floor in front of Quaylog's boss room and Anor Londo. Nothing but Amazing Chest Ahead.
Yep.
How many of Anor Londo's messages within the castle itself are Amazing Chest Ahead? I'd wager a good 20%, right?
I'd go higher, honestly. Like
useful messages, useless. How dare you? Amazing Chest Ahead.
Speaking of useless messages, I have one message I am so proud of in Dark Souls 2. Hey,
which is what?
You've probably run into it, actually, because it had, like, a score, like, what, 24,000?
Incredible, what is it?
Illusory Wall Ahead?
It's a common one, Rise.
But
that's actually based. If there was a based emote, that would be the based emote.
It was in the, third bonfire in Seldora.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Actually.
Yeah, that was me!
Ooh, that was good!
Everyone would just mash it, and they'd keep trying to, find a illusory wall, and they'd accidentally raid me.
Am I hitting it wrong? Am I hitting it wrong?
And that's how I actually got to, max rank in Brotherhood of Blood the first time, because I kept getting healed by that just constantly. And it applies even in the arena.
Drinking everything, going... Nothing but pure orange juice coursing through your veins.
It doesn't even give you S's, it just gives you a direct heal.
Incredible.
So, there was one point where I got backstabbed in the middle of a duel. And I was going to lose, except that I got healed during the backstab animation enough to survive.
It's like a spirit bomb, right? Give me your energy!
It is absolute salt!
It's all the kinetic power of people hitting the illusory wall.
Trolling my way to victory.
Trolling my way to fame and fortune. But little Lady Red over there wants a compliment, Jones.
Would you like to take this one, Kongo?
Little Lady Red, I know that you're an intelligent person. One far too intelligent to fall for illusory wall ahead.
That's one way to do it. I try to also make it a bit... Ooh!
Look at that!
It's Orca.
It's Orca! By followers and viewers.
Welcome,
now,
Orca!
Are useless, but viewers, those are useful.
I mean, follows are nice. It lets you, big dick in number competitions.
You're not wrong. But do they really improve your state in the algorithm? I don't think so, not significantly.
I don't think they do, but they're great for networking.
Interesting.
And I'm not sure why I'd actually want to pay for viewers. I don't actually like having viewers in my chat. I just want VTubers in there. Viewers are terrible.
You want nothing but V-chatters, as they say.
Oh, wait, what? That was that was the wrong thing to type.
Instinctive raids. Raiding without even thinking about it. Wait, do you not have mod icons on, Jones?
What's that?
Do you not have mod icons on?
I don't have mods.
No, I'm saying mod icons.
What? What the hell are mod icons? I've never heard of them.
So click the gear in chat, right?
Gear in chat, okay.
Alright, go to settings and then go mod icons on.
And
what mod icons do is that you can one-click ban people and delete their messages and so on.
I don't need one-click bans. I've got fingers.
You want to manually ban people. You know, I respect that.
Ooh, Pixelicissa, actually. I actually looked into one of those things, and the cheapest package is 1,000 followers, and that's sus as fuck when you're a small streamer.
Right.
That's why I don't actually go through with it. Otherwise, I totally would. I am absolutely down to support the viewer slave trade and just buy them onto my stream.
Little Lazy Red wants a Japanese lesson, it seems.
Okay, Red, did you know that ninja in Japanese is ninja?
What? Is it?
Mind-blowing, right? What a crazy coincidence! That in both
English
and Japanese, they developed the same word.
I can't believe this. Now I understand. Well, shinobi's a wrong word, obviously. Ninja's the real word for it. Shinobi are fake. Shinobi are frauds.
Uh-oh, here come Kongo with the strong ninja opinions.
The strong ninja opinions are that ninja are government dogs, and you should never trust one.
Yeah, I assume it's probably a scam, Pixeli, but I don't know. Aren't you
Cancel
afraid of
me if
feeding
you
the
can.
viewbot rat that I have? No? Are you joking? I deliberately feed my own rats. That's hilarious.
Try to cancel me. Cancel me if you can. My conduct is impeccable.
You don't need conduct. You just need to fabricate evidence. There's so much fun stuff you can do with deepfake.
Did you know? All Bones Jones, I'm going to be very, very straightforward with you. You're going to tell us. You're going to understand a secret that many people don't understand.
Uh-oh.
You can't be cancelled if you do nothing worth being cancelled for.
I think fabricating evidence it'll get the job done. You know?
Fabricating evidence is significantly more fun, right?
Right?
Right. Just say updated autopsy reports. In fact, I did not do it.
I mean, you can even get people arrested on fabricated evidence.
You absolutely could. That's a little lazy red wants a compliment again. Go for it.
I did see that, and that's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, isn't it?
It is unfortunate.
Why is that so
Keith
cheap?
Keystones to 19. Would I consider doing voice acting? What about you,
Greetings,
Kaya?
Keith Keystone. Saint 19. What would you like to hear from me, voice acting wise?
I mean, I'll do anything if you pay me for it. I won't stream Undertale, but almost anything.
So as I've said before, I have considered becoming a voice actor, but it did not pay enough, so I decided, no, actually I won't. Oh, read that line? Russian goes, you want Jones to read that line?
I think he does, since I'm the one who sounds like Papyrus,
It's a
apparently.
designated papyrus.
You can do any lines that are sans, though.
What if I just read that?
Alright, so there's your read this line redeem. Russian bro, Congo got it covered.
No, that was sans, come on, that's a papyrus line, do it.
I will be the one. I must be the one. I will capture a human, and then I, the great Papyrus, will get all the things I utterly deserve.
I will be the one! I must be the one! I will capture a human! That I, the great Papyrus, will get all the things I utterly deserve!
Oh, God, that was not a me impression.
Yes, because it was for Papyrus, it was not meant for you, obviously.
Good, obvious, yes.
Don't worry, if I was going to impersonate you, I would do it far better.
Oh, man. Red! I appreciate your sheer strong willpower and determination that allows you to even view my stream when you're even sick.
Look at that, that's dedication.
That is
That's loyalty.
dedication.
That's the hustle, loyalty, and respect you'd expect from sinners.
Yeah! Because they can't get out of this even if they wanted to.
Determination is becoming an Undertale.
Oh, God damn it. Red, no. No. You're gonna have to use the read that line redeem. Ah, God. Yeah, Red was one of the people I was drinking with last night.
Alright.
Oh, Keith Keystones to 19. Thank you so much for the follow.
Oh, and Boloros, thank you for the gematria. The gematria, rather.
Now, don't tell this to a lot of people. In fact, you're the only person I've ever told this to. Out
Oh?
of all 718 of my followers, the only one.
The only one?
But you're actually my favorite follower. That's right. My number one.
Talking about favorite follower, Keith Keystone, is T19.
As you know, Keith is my second favorite name after Jones, and I'm a big fan of Celestial Keystone in Toho 10.5.
That's a good move, right? It's a good move.
Yeah, and to 19 is my second favorite number.
So have you ever played or watched Toho the Last Comer?
Toho the last what now?
The Last Comer. That's the actual name for a game. Don't worry. It's C-O-M-E-R.
No,
I know what
I've
you're
never even
thinking.
heard of it.
So it is the Toho fan game made in Don Makufu, which has Jesus as the final boss, female Jesus.
Oh, I have heard of the female Jesus game, yes.
You've heard of the female Jesus game.
Yes.
It's great because near the end of it, Marisa Kirisame and Jesus have a talk, right?
Right?
And Marisa goes, so wait, if you're going to forgive everyone anyway, that means I can just commit as many crimes as I want, and I'll get into heaven anyway. And Jesus just goes, ... this girl is too much.
That is such a Marissa line, honestly.
Right. Don't you appreciate the hustle of Marisa Kirisame?
She is so great. Uh-oh. Read this line. She's gonna make me do it. She's gonna make me
She's
do
going to
it.
make you do it.
Thank you so much for the bits, by the way, little lady Red. You're actually
Yes,
my
I graduated
favorite
for
bit
the 10
donator.
cheers.
You can tell even by looking at the
Your-
top.
Your favorite bit donator? My
My
god.
number one.
The number one bit donator.
Red, you're a good girl. A very good girl. The best girl ever.
So, I am going to pull out a ton of voices I would never do in the dojo.
Uh-oh.
Just for you. Just as a bonus for you, Jones.
Uh-oh.
They're all dreadful. They're all dreadful. But
Uh-oh.
when you practice how to impersonate people, how to voice act, they just pile up.
Uh-oh. All right, let's hear it.
Nothing to be uh-oh, nothing to be uh-oh. Red, you're a good girl. A very good girl. The best girl, even.
That is a good voice. Holy crap.
Right. No, it isn't, Argon Aeon. Everyone's deaf.
The male martial... What?
I am a male martial artist. It's the martial artist grind set.
Alright, I'm a... Wait, oh.
Why is your check posture so expensive?
Oh, are my sound things
What
not
is-
on? Oh, that's unfortunate.
What is
Because...
wrong with your pricing, Jones?
Oh, because none of my basic things like hydrate or check posture are actually those things.
You have posture check and check posture, I see.
The thing is, they're all actually sound alerts that have been renamed.
This is a sound effect. The name disguises its purpose.
Yes.
I love that. That's godly, actually.
It's so cruel. It's stuff like, you know, Windows 10 disconnect noises, or Discord pinging, or knocking at the door, and I treat them like they're real things, and people constantly get fucked with them. They're great.
It's fantastic. The male martial artist sounds like this. Argon Aeon, what are you doing? But, if you want to hear another terrible voice, Argon Aeon, what are you doing? Greetings, J-Rod! This will be the most unpleasant Congo collaboration yet.
No, Russian bro, it's fine. It's going through. I just added sound alerts and now it's playing. Yes, the posture check emote.
Ooh, look at that.
Or not emote. Reward actually plays a knocking sound effect.
I'll graze it for the 100 cheers and anonymous cheer.
And thank you so much for the follow, J-Rod.
Plus 100. Love to see it.
Now, I don't tell this to a lot of people. In fact, you're the only person I've ever told this to.
Oh?
But you're actually my favorite follower, J-Rod. My number one.
Do you hear that, J-Rod? Favorite follower. You've
Beat
made
out all
it.
the others.
You've made it to the pinnacle, the summit, the mountaintop.
Because, you know, J is my favorite letter, and I love rods because I can beat people with them.
You have it. You know, that's actually excellent, the fact that you go out of your way to give a reason why they're your favorite.
Right? That's the fun part. Just saying that they're my favorite, that's boring. But
imagine if you were bodegas and went, you're my favorite customer.
Right? Yeah, it's like bodegas. I think Bodega might have been part of the inspiration for this. I don't remember. It was a bajillion years ago.
Bodega Rat's fantastic.
She is.
She's a rat in a can.
You
wonder who Jones's actual favorite follower is. I mean, you know, preferences change over time, Russian bro.
Right, and Anonymous Cheerer, thank you so much for the 100 bits and flexing on Little Lady Red like that. I appreciate it. I am so blessed that you kick off some busy time from your work as a systems administrator to donate money to me, Anonymous.
That's what I'm talking about, right?
Overtime
with every follow. I mean, yes, over time.
Remember, skeletons never lie. Never. Not once.
Yes. Also, go to Old Bones Jones's throat and buy him the cheese mace.
What? Cheese mace?
Yes, the cheese mace, right? Have you forgotten? It is the cheese wheel with a sledgehammer stuck in it.
What? Is this like the Sword in the Stone, but, like, better?
You have to eat the cheese. You have to lower the condition of the cheese mace to use it as an actual weapon.
I see.
What is that one spear with a statue head on it? That has infinite durability once you break it.
Santier Spear.
The Santier Spear is fantastic, isn't it? It's one of the most common PvP weapons. Great moveset.
I mean, it used to be, but then they nerfed it, so now it's only used by people who actually really know how to put its moveset to its limits.
Did it actually get nerfed? That's a shame.
It is. It's still a decent weapon. It's just you need to know how to use it instead of just spamming the win button.
Shame. Here's the trick over the cheese mace. It can become a cheese or a mace.
Yes,
you have to break it to actually use it, Agonegon. Before it's broken, it's useless.
Yeah, before it's broken, it's just a bad hammer.
So let's take a look. Let's take a look at what's on All Bones Jones's throne.
Oh no.
Let's see. Sonic the Hedgehog for PlayStation 3. Good game, good game, good game.
Yes, God, I really, if I could get this capture card thing working up, I really want to stream that, like, unironically. I'm having a blast with Sonic Adventure because it's such a broken game that barely works.
No, I'm still pleased that you managed to get that truck to explode.
Right! I defeated the truck in honorable combat. The mightiest hedgehog.
Right? It's a shame that's impossible in the normal game, right?
It should be possible, actually. You just have to recollect
It's
your ring
possible
every
if
time.
you're really good, but you will... The time it would take you to collect the ring would make the truck go up the hill slower. So you would have to be very, very skilled, you would have to be perfect, and it would take far longer.
It's definitely not tasks only, but you'd have to be, like, better at the video game than a guy who's never played it before, because this was my first stream of it ever.
Ooh, a Holy Bible leather grip, it looks good.
Yeah! Something to keep my perfectly concealed legal weapons in, as far as anyone
Yes, don't worry, it's just a Bible, everyone. It's a mere Bible. Is this a gaming PC? What is this? A gaming laptop, I see.
It's a laptop! I just saw, like, expensive PC and slapped it on there, because I figure I could sell it and that would be enough to get me out of here.
You haven't even seen it? It's a laptop, Old Bones Joe.
I haven't even looked at it. I just looked for the most expensive PC and thought if anyone's dumb enough to buy me this, then I could just resell it and leave.
You would never fire an actual 12-gauge silver bullet shell, right? There's no way you would.
I would, but I'd also make sure to, like, take it out of the corpse afterwards.
Right, you'd pick it up. That's a good idea. 1 ounce! Almost pure silver hand-poured silver cross. That's godly. Love that.
I'm a big fan of silver, for all sorts of different reasons.
I mean, everyone loves silver. It's just significantly less gaudy than gold is.
Yeah, it's nice and muted, it's a nice color, it disinfects stuff, it can be used in ritual stuff, it's a reflection of the moon, it's great, I love silver.
Do you think you'd be able to beat someone to death with a block of silver?
Oh, I mean, I could beat someone to death with my hands. Adding any weight to it.
If you had a block of silver, think about how good it would be. It makes me think of the brick from Bloodborne. You know the brick from Bloodborne?
I have not played Bloodborne. I missed out on an entire console generation while I was dead.
Alright, perfect. Let me show you the brick from Bloodborne. You'll love this weapon.
I think I might have heard of it, though. I remember there being a brick in Bloodborne that you beat people with and does like a bunch of poise damage.
Let me bring it out for you. It's the Fist of Gracia. Look at this. It is just a literal brick which someone has squeezed so hard that there are finger holes in it. And that's what you reminded me of the other night when you said, I squeezed steel so hard, soft steel so hard, my fingerprints were left in it.
Oh, right, yeah, that way back. Oh, man.
It's the brick.
Yeah, that fucked up my fingers real good, too.
You know the brick? Do you know the brick? Greetings, Hardcore Hunter.
Welcome, Hardcore Hunter, and good morning.
I think I'll greet everyone with a different voice just because.
Alright.
Greetings, Hardcore Hunter.
I might be a bit more drunk than I'm intending to be, because I accidentally tracked Bloodborne. Brick.
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne brick.
Greetings, Big A.
Brick weapon? Why is it showing me?
Alright, enough of that nonsense, though. Enough of that nonsense.
Why am I only getting
And
pictures
greetings,
of
Order
enemies?
of Dust.
Alright, I'm gonna show you the Bloodborne brick, the real one, and definitely not a cheap
Show me
bootleg.
the brick. Show me the brick. And what are we drinking? I'm drinking Kirin Strong Freeze mixed berries. Delicious.
Alright, come on. Come on, Google, hold it together. Load it in, there we go. Come on, Google, I know you can do it, I believe in you.
But how do I say this? Someone actually put lyrics to the theme of the female Jesus from Toho the Last Comer. And it's just a rap about how Jesus is the best and Jesus is also a girl under the Toho. It's incredible. Would you like to hear it? Would you like to hear it? Would you like to play it even? Because it's beautiful.
Show me it afterwards, I'll definitely check it out.
No problem, no problem.
Okay, where is...
It's a very cursed song.
It sounds it. Alright, here you go. Here's the real Bloodborne brick, and not, you know...
The real Bloodborne.
The real one, not a cheap bootleg. I'm gonna put it on the table.
Is that the real Bloodborne?
That's the real one, definitely. Not brick we have at home.
Oops, pardon that. I added an apostrophe at the end. That's not right. There we go. But the lyrics of these are fantastic.
Also, what I'm drinking is a local brew that's cursed.
It starts with, so I wrote this song for the Christian youth. I want to teach kids the Christian truth. If you want to reach those kids on the street, you gotta sing along so it's all beats.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's... I'm not putting that on my stream. Oh, man. Like, I got some standards. Not many, but some.
I can't believe it. Do you hear that, sinners? All those jokes won't even poop post properly. Come on.
Look, I don't blaspheme on my stream. There's
It's
one thing I
unreasonable.
learned the hard way. It's that it's not good to piss off gods.
Come on, Jesus Christ will forgive you eventually.
I mean, eventually, sure, but there's no good use to it for doing it ahead of time. It's just one of those things I've learned.
Look, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
The real brick right there on the table.
I mean, I'd absolutely kill someone with this brick. No problem.
I mean, it wouldn't even be that hard. You can just, like, throw it at someone's
So
head.
if you had to, how strong of a stick would you need to make this a warhammer? Where you just duct tape it to a stick. It would have to be a really good stick. PVC pipe won't cut it. It will absolutely snap.
I mean, any sort of hardwood dowel would probably do it. You just have to, like,
Hardwood
drill
dowel
it.
would be good, but could you pick up a hardwood dowel for cheap? I feel it would be expensive.
I mean, around here, there's plenty of places you can pick up hardwood dowels for cheap because they're, like, slightly malformed or whatever. You can get them for
Oh,
free.
I see. You're right. You can buy, how do I say this, reject cement to hardwood.
Yeah, then you can just modify it a bit.
A shovel handle would do, though, but at that point you can make a halberd again. Call anything that can smash or slash a halberd.
Or you can just use the freaking shovel. Shovels are a terrifying weapon.
Right. You would have to sharpen it, though. You would have to sharpen it.
No, you don't have to sharpen anything. You just have to hit harder.
No, I mean sharpen a shovel anyway, because you can hit harder and you can stab with it.
I mean, you could, but shovels don't really hold. They don't have a grade of metal that's very particularly good for holding an edge. So you'd stab like one guy with it, and then there would be just blunt again.
I suppose you're right. It would have to be a really nice shovel.
I mean, even the nicest shovels are made of it. There's a... I don't do a whole long rant about this, because I've actually worked as a blacksmith. You need to get a certain type of steel that has a certain degree of toughness and a certain degree of hardness to it, which are two different categories, even if they sound really similar. So that it's strong enough to retain an edge and deforms just the right amount to maintain that edge under stress.
You're right, because that's one of the issues with obsidian. Obsidian is one of the sharpest materials in the world, but it just cannot hold an edge. It just chips.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, chipped obsidian is still plenty fatal, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
There's a concept
Anything
of
that sharp can be fatal.
Mokohito, which is one of the best weapons. I'm surprised that Dark Souls doesn't have a Mokohito.
I mean, it leans specifically on, whatchamacallit. It leans specifically on European fantasy rather than, like, American fantasies, so...
Yes, the European fantasy of having an Uchigatana, of course.
Hey, don't pretend that there aren't a bajillion weebs making Western RPGs with katanas. Don't even pretend. Also, welcome, Mobius04.
Greetings, Mobius04. I'm just going to greet you with my normal voice. Let's not dip into my pool of terrible voices.
But it's so good. It's so... I mean, look at the landscape around you. You can't tell me that it's not better off being made more terrible.
Greetings, Mobius4.
Perfect. Mobius04, thank you so much for the follow. Now, I don't tell this to a lot of people. In fact, you're the only person I've ever told this to. But you're actually my favorite follower.
What?
That's right.
No way.
My
No
number
way.
one.
You're number one.
Because, you know, Mobius is my favorite shape and my favorite Sonic the Hedgehog setting, and 04 is my favorite number.
4 is your favorite number?
No, 04 specifically.
04
Not just regular 4, you
specifically,
have
I
to
see,
preface
I
it with a 0.
But yes, blacksmiths have ridiculous grip strength just by the nature of their job. You develop it very fast.
Blacksmith arms are terrifying. If your blacksmith punches you, you're probably going to land about a city block away. Honestly. They hit so freaking hard, man.
Bomb.
Alright, Curse Spear number 1 has been defeated.
Well done. I'm already on my second can, and once I drink this, I will have to mix myself some more.
Now
Because
it is
the rest of my mixed berry drinks are not, how do I say this, cold.
I mean, neither am I. There's nothing wrong with room temperature alcohol, alright?
There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not the ideal thing. I do prefer Klein bottles, but Mobius strips are fantastic. Mobius.
Oh yeah, Klein bottles are great because you can use them to get around open container laws when you're drinking and driving.
Right, you say, wait, this is not a container. It's not actually a container. It's all an open. It's all an open, non-orientable surface. Don't worry about it. It's open and it's closed.
Trust me, it'll definitely actually work and not, get you arrested and like, slapped around a bit by pissed off cops.
They go, all right. That looks like a bottle. It's a bottle. That's all a cop would do. Cops do not care about logic. They are merciless.
Okay. Oh man, I can't even taste this, but I can tell that this cheap-ass cursed beer is horrifying. Oh, it's so bad. It is so cursed! I really wanted to get some different alcohol for this, but I didn't have a chance to. Oh man.
You can tell. You're absorbing the curse from the beer. Your curse meter is, how do I say this, building up.
So you'll now have half health and it'll be horrid.
So the first time I played Dark Souls, I got stuck with a curse of no purging stones in Duke's Archives.
It's fine, you teleport at that point though.
I had to do Duke's Archives with half health.
It's, at least you can you got
it's
cursed when you first met Seath, right?
It was in the prison,
yeah.
yes.
Oh man.
The worst.
I completely forgot that part even exists because I usually just skip it.
Normally it's trivial. All you do is use a ring of sacrifice or whatever. You're fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't know what's happening and you get cursed and you have no purging stones, you have to do that entire section with the library and the channelers with half health. That was my get good moment. That was when I got good.
Ah, man. Fucking Dark Souls. Actually, I don't think I've ever talked about... I don't consider it my first playthrough of Dark Souls. I consider it my 0th, but it's pretty hysterical.
You can actually warp out of there if you sit at the bonfire as far away out the door as possible. The lock-on warping only exists within that room. Is that the case?
I wouldn't know. I've never tried, because I don't go into that room. I just do skip.
Bizarre, but thank you for telling me, Agoneon. Now I know.
I'll have to try that. But, yeah, I have what I consider a 0th playthrough of Dark Souls that I've never talked about on this stream, but it's absolutely hysterical. So I picked a Pyromancer first off, right?
Alright.
And I heard that Dark Souls was supposed to be a hard game.
Not if you're a Pyromancer, no.
So, when I got to the skeletons in the graveyard, I was like, oh, this is a hard game. I have to parry them like 3 times to kill them.
Ooh, difficult.
And then I kept going. I was like, oh, these things don't die unless I kick them off a ledge.
Oh no, someone's hacked you. You've been hacked.
We're back? I think we're back.
Have we returned, everyone?
We have returned. We're back. Okay. So to
So as I
continue
was
that
saying...
story, I was playing a pyromancer, went through the catacombs, and went all the way through the catacombs to Pinwheel. And beat Pinwheel. And went into the Tomb of the Giants. And got to the first bonfire in there.
Impressive.
And then someone said, that's the wrong way.
As I've said myself, I almost made it to Pinwheel, but I decided I really dislike the weapons my starting character came with, right?
What class
so
were you
I
playing?
went, I chose, how do I say this? I chose Bandit, and Bandit is really well equipped, but how do I say this? I wanted a faster weapon. I felt as if it was not doing the job against the skeletons.
Reasonable.
So I went, what if I have range? What if I choose Sorcerer or Pyromancer?
Oh, man.
But then I chose Sorcerer, I went up the hill, I went, wait, why are these so easy?
Right? Yeah, I had the exact same experience. It's just that I went Pyromancer and went all the way into the Tomb of the Giants and had someone else tell me, yeah, you can't make any progress there. You have to climb back out. I'm like, fuck that, and started over.
Imagine having to climb up all the way.
Right? Oh, man. You can warp out. I mean, I wonder if that's a remaster only
So,
or if that's an original.
That's bizarre, because why would it be mapped to the room rather than in the bonfire?
Because Dark Souls 1 is barely programmed? Like,
It
it's
was only
almost programmed.
It was programmed in a dream and nothing else.
Like, alright, let me tell you about Dark Souls 1 programming, alright?
Alright, tell me.
I've told you this story, but I don't think I've told the sinners this story. So, you can upgrade weapons to boss weapons.
Alright.
And you can downgrade those weapons back to normal weapons.
Alright.
So let's say you took a Mailbreaker and upgraded it to a Greatsword of Artorias.
Alright.
You know how they make sure to track what it downgrades to?
Yes, I do.
They didn't put a freaking pointer in there to make sure that you could actually, like, map out what it was. It's not some sort of data within the struct of the weapon data itself. There is a different instance of every single version of every single boss weapon for every single weapon it can ascend from.
As you'd expect, this is Miyazaki's vision. This is what he wanted out of Dark Souls.
This means that, including the other upgrades, there are over 200 identical copies of the Greatsword of Artorias in the game data.
That's what I'm talking about. You know, who wouldn't want to own 200 identical copies of the Greatsword of Artorias, though?
Right? I mean, just think about how much fun it would be. And it's just, oh my god. And it's like this for every weapon. There's like, only like 100 or so. There's like, what, a dozen boss weapons? 2 dozen? 3 dozen?
Something such, yes. And there's more Greatswords of Artorias than them.
Yeah, and like the total like data of the boss weapons is like over half the total weapon data in all of the game just because they did it this way?
So how was the percentage that the Greatsword of Artorias is? It must be like 2%, right?
More than that, because Greatsword of Artorias upgrades from every single sword.
You're right. I was thinking of the other boss weapons must match up to it somehow, but no. You're right.
It is legitimately a third of the weapon data is just identical copies of the Greatsword of Artorias.
Why are there so many Greatswords of Artorias? The world may never know.
Hey, God King Pool, the Golem Rights Unit is filing a discrimination suit against me. The, Golem Rights Unit can suck my bone. Don't worry about it, Congo. It's fine.
Don't worry about it. I'm just considering the sheer number, the sheer power of the Greatsword of Artorias.
It's seriously a full third.
Do you remember the boss fight? Do you remember the boss fight where you fight 200 Artorias at once? I remember.
Oh man, yeah, that was one of the hardest fights to do blindfolded. Oh man. Man, speaking of which, I am really freaking worried about the rest of the blindfolded Dark Souls 2 bosses.
The thing is, alright. How many Artorias could you fit in Artorias' boss arena?
I mean, Artorias occupies about 5% of the diameter, I'd say. Maybe a little bit less, probably closer to 3.
I'd say you could definitely fit 200, but then they wouldn't have space to move.
Yeah, but that's
How
fine.
many could you put before it would stop being playable? That's a better question.
Like 3?
Right, because if they all use the charging move in unison, then you would be screwed.
I mean, any of them stagger their attacks, then you're just hosed.
Then you're screwed, yes.
You don't got enough iframes and enough recovery frames to survive 3 of them just using their attacks one after another. There is no save point at that point.
And Greek's God King Bull. Wouldn't that just be a great gag, though? It would be Artorias and Artorias. Like Ornstein and Smo, but Artorias and Artorias. And
That
when you
reminds me
defeat
of
one,
that-
they fuse.
You know, I was actually looking into making a hack for Dark Souls 1, and, well, mod, I guess not hack, for 1 and 2.
Yes.
And 2 is just going to be Kaizo Souls 2.
Give me an example of an idea for it.
Okay, so you get into the Throne Watcher and Defender boss room, right?
Alright, naturally.
And instead of Throne Watcher and Throne Defender, it's Smelter Demon and Aged Smelter Demon.
That's so bad. That is so bad. I'm trying to think of how I'd even tackle that fight. It's not impossible. Like, even with optimized builds, it would be difficult,
horrible.
though. It would be dreadful. What the hell? Why would you have 2 smelter demons in one room?
Right? And,
So bad.
for things betwixt, the door that leads to character creation would be blocked by a statue.
Of course, of
A
course.
fragrant branch of your statue. And in order to unlock it, you have to punch the pursuer to death.
Greetings, Ice the Bite. I mean, I'd play that. I think it would be hilarious. But
It would be
still.
horrifying, but it would be hilarious.
Force a popular Dark Souls streamer to go through Kaizo Souls too.
And stick my Twitch URL everywhere in there to leech their clout.
Right, right. They turn around, they say all Bones Jones in giant letters.
I've also got a specific hack that I'm probably going to make first for Dark Souls 1.
Which will be?
Alright, so it's going to have a couple of changes. First off, you get Infinite Estus.
Alright, straightforward.
You always have Estus.
You always
Second
have
off,
Estus.
there's only one area. It's the
Alright.
Blighttown Swamp, but a very narrow hallway.
That makes sense.
And it takes about, let's say, 8 hours to go down this Blighttown hallway.
I caught on immediately, alright. I get it.
Desert Souls, baby!
Desert Souls! The thing is, how would you do the veering mechanics?
Oh, that's the poison damage from Blighttown.
So yes, if you stop walking, yes, you're right.
If you forget to heal long enough, you just die from poison
Just
damage
die.
and get sent back to the start.
That is dreadful. Would you put an enemy at the end? Would you put like a single club ogre at the end?
I mean, if I'd put anything at the end, it would be like a crusty JPEG that says you win.
No, I mean like right before you reach the very end of it.
I know what you mean, and like
the
a final
distance.
challenge could exist, but I feel that would be less insulting than a JPEG.
You're right. Because imagine if
purpose
there's a
of Desert
boulder
Boss-
ogre right at the end. It would be terrible. But
Yeah, I mean,
would-
it would also be fun, because fighting things is fun in Dark Souls, and we don't want that
you're
in Desert
right.
Boss.
We can't allow that.
We want misery and suffering, that's the goal.
But I mean, 8 hours to fight a boulder ogre is not really the best of things, if I have to be honest with you.
You know, I could probably set it up so once you cross that 8-hour threshold, there would be like an enemy that fell into the pit and died and had all the Gwyn scripting to get you automatically an ending. And then just
You could
immediately
do that.
catapult you into New Game Plus. Which is
You
just,
could
you're
do
back to
that.
where you are, and it's just, oh, it's so horrible.
What if the last bonfire, the bonfire at the end, is just the Darkstalker ending, or the Darkwalker ending, yes?
Exactly, yeah, you just get there, the ending plays automatically.
Kath
Yeah.
goes, you did it, you traversed the swamp, we all worship you now.
I could probably change... You know what would be even funnier, just to not change the ending at all? Minimum effort to make it as insulting as possible.
Minimum effort.
I love Desert Bus. It's my favorite thing, because, like, hurting people is funny. But giving someone a tool with which they can choose to hurt themselves, and then not making them do it, but they do it anyway, is even funnier.
I do want to play Desert Bus at one point in the dojo. I'll think about it. It would be funny.
Ooh, you'd come along with that thing I'm planning with Spike, then.
I'd rather do it alone.
Ah, okay. Because, yeah, I've got a thing that I'm working out with Spike, probably sometime in February.
What is it?
We're gonna go for a 2-point run in Desert Bus as co-op.
2-point run.
16 hours.
Did Spike agree to this already?
Yes.
Why?
The reason he agreed to the first Desert Bus collab, I think you know the story about that, right? I tried to use the door-in-the-face marketing technique with Spike, where I was just like,
no, I did.
Something absolutely stupid, which was Desert Bus, and being like,
yes. And he said, yes,
okay,
all right,
okay, fine, we won't do that, we'll do F-Zero X. But then that motherfucker was like, oh, Desert Bus sounds like a great idea, let's do it. I'm like, wait, can't back out of this one now.
No, co-op just means they take turns. Or they can swap controlling the bus.
We both can control the bus, so we can take breaks with the other one covering it, but we're still stuck in a bus together for 16 hours.
That sounds like a normal American road trip to me, if I'm being honest with you.
I mean, that's an American road trip across the country. You can get from Florida to Maine in like a 24-hour trip or less.
You're not wrong, actually. It's quite far. Why? That's the same question I just asked. And greetings, cats.
Mew, there is no good answer for that.
It sounds like a road trip. No, not every country's as large as America, cats.
Yeah, I mean, I know a guy over in Thailand who hates having to visit his parents because they live on the other side of the country and it takes him like an hour to drive over there.
Ooh, an hour, ooh.
Oh, Revenant Bus? Oh, man, actually, Doom Revenant Bus has native freaking multiplayer support.
Does it? That might be more fun then.
I could get, like, you know, Woozle and Bloom and a couple of other people in there.
Do you know that Bloom is the first person I've had to kick out of the dojo?
Oh, was it because he was late for his thing or because he was too drunk?
Both, because he was... How do I say this? We had 10 minutes before his stream with Arthur, and I said, Bloom, get up, you have another stream after this. And he went, no, please, we have to watch these videos. Kongo, I beg you, we have to watch these. And he refused to get up. I had to kick him from the server and out of the dojo just so he would walk over to Arthur's. And then he passes out anyway.
Right!
Man goes, I'm 4 out of 10 drunk. I'm only 4 out of 10 drunk, Kongo, don't worry.
Imagine how terrifying he would be if he was at 10 out of 10 drunk. Imagine his full power. Who could match that?
He would be dead. He would be a corpse. All bunches. He would look like you.
Ooh, terrifying. Undefeatable fist of I am so drunk. Oh, man.
My god, though. My god. I don't think I'll ever have to kick anyone out again. Unless they get as drunk as Professor Bloom.
Yeah, the Arthur stream, I actually caught the Arthur stream afterwards. That was hysterical. Oh, man.
I can't believe that Bloom would outshine Arthur that way, right?
Right? So for those of you who don't know, Arthur had to, like, restart the starting soon screen, like, 3 times? Before he could actually get Bloom into a call. And then Bloom did commentary for about 10 minutes before passing out drunk.
The thing is that Bloom DM'd me the day after and said, I apologize for what's happened, but also I made it to my bed before I passed out somehow. I'm really impressed with myself.
4 out of 10 drunk is just enough for him to make him to bed. Got it.
Priorities, right? Priorities.
I wonder if he probably apologized to Arthur at least.
Oh, he absolutely did. Don't worry about it, but still.
Oh man, I also had a fun time spiting Arthur for a collab yesterday.
Again, Arthur was murdered. Arthur was assassinated.
Yeah.
The burrito was spiked.
Yes. Yeah, spiked with negligence. Yeah, so Arthur really didn't want to waste food and had like a 3-week-old burrito in his apartment. And, didn't want to waste food, so he actually ate it. And spent the rest of the day battling the toilet.
That's ridiculous.
Then, I hopped into a impromptu collab with Aegon for Dark Souls 2. And the moment
you started,
Arthur I started, Arthur DM'd me, hey, I'm awake now, let's go. Literally, the moment Aegon switched to the playing stream. Oh my.
That's the timing of Arthur Abbott. That's why they call him a devil. You'll be an angel VTuber.
Yeah, start the stream. I'll be in there in just a second.
He would be the angel VTuber if he could resist the temptation of the 3-week-old burrito.
That dude has Hercule Satan's luck, though. Holy crap.
Oh, tell me about it. How so?
Oh, well, during the collab, I decided to guide him to the gutter because it's funny.
Alright.
And I was expecting him to get lost and, wander around and suffer miserably because, it's the gutter.
Alright. Straightforward enough.
But he just fucking beelined straight to the end.
In his first try of the gutter?
Yeah, he just got to the fucking... It's the place where you have all those hollows right before the actual fog gate that leads to the next area.
Is he Mr. Magoo or something? What the hell?
No, he's Hercule Satan. It's fucking absurd.
They call me Mr. Satan. I'm the strongest in the world.
Literally just lucked his way to the end. Didn't get distracted by anything. Didn't pick up any optional items. Didn't go any down wrong path. Just straight there.
I am honestly impressed. I'm honestly impressed.
Ridiculous. It's impossible.
That's power.
The power of dumb luck. Or as
Look,
I like
luck
to
is a skill. Luck is a skill.
The power of dumb skill.
If you die, it's simply a skill issue, sinners.
Yes.
Would you ever die in a video game? That's cringe.
If I die to anything, it's because the game is unfair and bad. That's the only explanation. Because I'm good at video games. Incredibly good at video games. You are good at video games.
Objectively, you're good at video games. You're far better at video games than I ever will be, Jones.
Yeah, I might have played a little bit too much Dark Souls.
If we did Dark Souls PvP, you'd run circles around me. The only place I might be able to defeat you is Sen's Fortress.
You wouldn't, because if I'm going for PvP, I'm coming with a freaking crystal magic weapon stone greatsword.
Feel free, feel free.
You know about that glitch, though, right?
Oh, I don't actually. I thought you were just picking that up.
So you know the stone greatsword, how it's a strong attack creates two-handed strong attack creates that area of slowdown.
All right.
If you buff it, you're not supposed to be able to. Yeah, Tranquil Walk of Death. You're not supposed to be able to buff the weapon, but if you do, every single frame that someone spends inside the Tranquil Walk of Peace aura, they take damage from the buff.
They take the buff damage?
Yes. Every frame.
No way. They didn't patch that out either.
They didn't patch that out. It is perpetual. It goes on continuously. It ignores walls. And it's stuck on you.
I could probably still win, but that's terrifying. Because the Golem Axe is a projectile. The Golem Axe is busted.
Yes,
I already showed you what happens when you block the Golem Axe, right?
Yeah, you just get knocked backwards, but it's fine.
That's not a great thing in Sen's Fortress, though.
It's fun. I just won't get hit.
Simply won't get hit by the invisible projectiles.
Yeah.
Of course, genius.
Do you really think not being able to see things is going to dramatically impact my gameplay?
Do you think the king of blindfolded Dark Souls would falter to not being able to see a projectile?
I freaking no-hit Smelter Demon. Second try, blindfolded.
I'll give you that. They just tried to patch buffing the weapon. They tried, so it didn't work.
I mean, you played Dark Souls 3, right? The same issue happened in Dark Souls 3 like 8 different ways.
Ooh, you're right. That's miserable.
I mean, Dark Souls... I'm not going around and say Dark Souls 1 is barely programmed. They tried all of the game logic to the animation, so if you can interrupt the animations, which is a game feature, then you can glitch the game. It's simple as that.
Fall damage was that. I never got hit. I never broke my knees. That was fake. That was a false lie. That was an illusion. Illusory breaking my knees.
Fall control quitouts are so... There's something. That's for damn sure.
Let me see if I can find that Dark Souls comic I enjoy.
Ooh, Dark Souls comic. That sounds fun.
It's a classic. It's a classic. Let me see. Come on, why is it so hard to find things?
Because Google doesn't work anymore. It's bad. Google is just Ask Jeeves with a new coat of paint nowadays.
I could have sworn this was better before. There we go, found it. We found it on Reddit.
Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun. Here is the classic Dark Souls comic.
Oh, exploding knees! I didn't even have to expand that image to recognize it. I just knew.
I didn't know it.
The moment I saw the E, I knew. Alright, let me toss that up.
Don't worry, Agoneon, you'll see it for yourself shortly.
Way the heck down. Nope, too far down.
You're
Last
about to see a
Thursday,
thing of beauty.
On Dark Souls.
This boss fight will be neato!
Whopping 10 vitality!
Ooh, you're not scrolling down? Alright, I suppose it's just laggy. Just laggy, here we go.
Yes, laggy.
I'll just open it up then.
Better
Better take a sip it quickly!
Oh, man.
Do you ever think about the Estus Flask that came with the Estus Flask edition of Dark Souls 3?
Oh, man. Don't get me started on Angry of Dark Souls 3's flasks.
Do you recall how angry everyone was? Everyone was so furious.
No, I don't actually.
It's because the Estus Flask looked like this, All Bones Jones. This is literally something you'd send as a joke to someone. Give me a moment. I don't think you've seen it before because it looked like this. They paid for the premium edition of the game and got this.
Oh, those! Right, the cheap plastic!
Look at this, sinners. Look at this. This is what you drink from. Would you even be able to tell that's an Estus flask just from the shape? You couldn't, right?
No, it's the shape is all wrong.
There's no orange, there's no lid, you can't open it, you can't drink from it. It is a block of green plastic.
Look, it's so bad.
They paid a premium for this, Jones. They paid a premium for this.
I know. So bad.
Wouldn't you want to own one, though, just for the
proportions are
joke?
super wrong, too. The neck of the Estus flask isn't that long.
I mean, it's an Estus flask. It's the official one, Jones.
I mean, Estus flasks are jade. That's true. That's accurate. It's just that...
This is Miyazaki's vision.
Miyazaki's vision. Something that's like the size of your fingertip.
It's a foam plastic lime that have the fake lime juice.
Oh, man.
The thing is that is not a vessel. That is, how do I say this? A hunk of plastic.
Wait, it's like a solid thing of plastic. You can't even drink out of it?
You can't drink out of it, no. It's unopenable.
Wow. That's incredible.
They messed up on every single avenue of making it Estus flask. There's no Estus and it's not a flask.
Oh, man. That takes some dedication. You can't fuck up that hard by accident.
Right, you have to do it on purpose, right? It's almost as if you're spiting people with it.
Wasn't shipped with beer, even? I mean, that's fair. Estus isn't a beer. It's warmth.
It is genuine warmth. Isn't that why warmth heals you, the spell?
Yes. But there's also something more into that. So,
Tell me
Estus is a
about it.
mistranslation. It's supposed to be Astus,
Astus.
which is the Latin word for the warmth from a restful fire.
I do get it, yes.
Let me type that out in chat.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I was wondering what the hell Estus meant.
Right? No, it's just a mistranslation of warmth. It's a flask of warmth. You drink the restful warmth of the bonfire.
That makes so much more sense, actually. Thank you for telling me.
Right? It suddenly... Oh, everything makes sense. It's just a Latin
Everything
word.
makes so much more sense that way.
I did hear about the Fallout stuff, actually. I did hear about that afterwards.
The power of the canvas bag.
I've never played a Fallout, so I don't have any opinions on it, but man.
You should play Fallout
Man.
New Vegas at one point. It would be a good game.
Maybe I should, but no one's bought it for me, so I can't.
Do you hear that, sinners? Buy Fallout New Vegas for All Bones Jones. It's dirt cheap anyway.
Can I even stream that, though? Seems like it might be a hard-to-run game. I mean, no, it's like Dark Souls 2 levels. Well, no, it's a Bethesda game.
It's way less. It's way less than Dark Souls 2. If you can run Dark Souls 2, you can run it.
But it's a Bethesda game. Those are coded like someone tried to program them by throwing salami at the keyboard.
It did use a Bethesda engine, but it was programmed and written by people more competent.
Okay.
So it's easily the best of the Bethesda games. Quote-unquote Bethesda games.
I did really enjoy Oblivion, though. That is a fun game. Oblivion is a game that appeals to me at such a fundamental level.
I was about to say something, but I forgot the line. Give me just a moment. Spare some change, sir! Blessings of Akatosh upon thee.
Oh, yeah, the one high elf chick who... They left a bad take in there, so it's like...
Wait, I
Thieves
read that
broke
wrong.
into the place, and the other place in the same night. Hold on, let me try that again. Thieves broke into the other place, the place in the same night.
So every single beggar in Oblivion goes, spare some change, sir! And if you give them change, they go, blessings of the seven upon thee. Their voice suddenly becomes incredibly smooth. As if you have given them life, as if you have given them a purpose, belief in humanity, perhaps.
They have less voice actors for that game than there are character races.
I think that it genuinely only has 5 voice actors. Oblivion.
That's about right. It's like 5, 6, 7, somewhere around there. It's ridiculous.
How can you create a top-level game like this and only have that many voice actors?
Determination and willpower, which is why I like that game, because it falls apart so hard.
Meanwhile, we have Morrowind, work of art Morrowind.
Morrowind is probably a game that I would also enjoy. Maybe I should stream that during
You would
next week.
definitely enjoy Morrowind.
I really liked Oblivion, though, because, like, everything broke.
Oblivion is one of the most broken and easy-to-cheese games in existence.
I loved the fucking Drain Life custom spell so much.
It is barely held together by anything. That's why Skyrim's bad, because you can't make custom spells anymore.
Yeah, that's why I'll probably never really play Skyrim. Like, I don't really care about, like, deep, intricate, interesting mechanics. I love broken stuff.
Right.
Like, there's a Drain Life custom spell that I love using, which it's just drain 300 life for 1 second. It's dirt cheap to cast, because it's a Drain Life spell, meaning that when the second is gone, then they're healed up again. But nothing at low levels has 300 health, so it's just a super dirt cheap instant kill spell.
Wait, just sieve them up like a juice box.
Yep. It does, however, have one very unfortunate side effect.
Which is?
If you use it on an NPC to kill them, even if there aren't any eyewitnesses, because there's a frame where between getting hit and them dying, they manage to alert the guards and you get arrested for assault. Not murder,
it's a criminal spell.
Assault. Coffee cup with a skeletal hand? I mean, I should be. I should get more coffee.
They're not properly, how do I say this, charging you. Come on, charge me properly. I killed that person.
No, that's the hilarious part. They charge you for the wrong crime and always do it successfully.
They're just that good.
It's incredible.
You have violated the law.
I mean, I will take 10 gold pieces to, like, assassinate someone I don't like. That's fine, whatever.
Let me see if I can get the whole line. Just give me a moment, give me a moment. How hard is it to get the line just in plain text? It's not that difficult. There we are.
Kongo.
Stop right there, criminal scum! Nobody breaks the law on my watch! I'm confiscating your stolen goods! Now pay your fine or it's off to jail!
Resist arrest.
Every single guard, and guards that don't exist start to beat you up. Guards will literally spawn just to enter the room, just to beat you up.
Yeah, if you kill everyone in that game, guards will still keep spawning, which is hilarious.
They're omnipotent. They are being made solely to uphold the law of the land.
Ooh, Hardcore X Hunter has the other fun tech. Charm 100 for 1 second, then talk to them, which freezes time, and then they'll let you go because you're such good friends.
Right. We're so friendly.
Oh, man.
So, do you know... We're going to talk about
precious.
D&D 5e for a second, because there's an exploit in that game which is hilarious, right?
Oh? Is it
Do you know the
precious?
spell Friends, the cantrip Friends, Jones?
Oh, I know where you're going with this. Yes, I do. That's one of my
If you
favorite
disguise yourself
cantrips
as someone else using disguise self, and you use Friends on someone, they will hate that person instead. Because the description of
Maybe.
the
It
spell
says
is
they
really...
specifically hate you, but they don't know
No.
the appearance then.
No.
I mean,
You go for
There's
it.
so many abuses for that spell. My personal favorite is like transforming or disguising into like harmless creatures and then casting it so they get like totally fucking nuts, like hitting all sorts of random things. It is one of the best spells for gaslighting and psychological abuse.
It is literally the Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss spell.
There's nothing that says friend like gaslighting.
The charm spells. The charm spells in 5e are some of the weakest ever, honestly. 3.5e had so much better charm spells.
Yeah, oh my god. Charm is just advantage on charisma check.
It's pathetic, actually. It's barely anything. If you want gaslighting, the amount of gaslighting you do in 3.5e was horrendous.
It is. They had so many fun spells in that.
The spells in 5e are so... How do I say this? Their teeth were ripped out. Their teeth and claws were ripped out.
There is
It's
a
still
really...
stronger than martial might, but still.
There is a really, really good use for charming people, though.
Which is?
Charming someone gives you advantage on charisma checks. If you're
Correct.
like a bard or a warlock, counterspell is a charisma check.
Let me double check that, actually.
Pretty sure that's the way it works. I might be wrong. I'm a little drunk. I'm on my second cursed beer, and that shit.
Don't
fucked me up.
worry. So let me check very quickly. No, it's only ability checks to interact socially. It's not charisma, unfortunately.
Is it? Okay, then I must be mixing it up with
Well,
glibness.
actually,
It
it
does
doesn't
work
work
that
that
way.
way. It's glibness.
Yes.
If you have glibness and you counterspell, you're guaranteed to counterspell, basically.
Yes, because, you
Which
know,
I have no idea how that works, but whatever.
if there's one person that I think would be the master of defeating magic, it would not be the Abjurer, the guy specialized in defeating magic.
No,
It's
it
the
would be a bard.
bard. The bard.
The bard says, Ashley, I just don't believe in your spell. It's fake. Fake news. That fireball, illusionary. Be gone.
You just talk to the guy and say, sorry, dude, magic doesn't exist. It's a joke.
Sorry, dude,
Stop.
magic. It's sort of cringe, actually. Spell gone.
Counterspell with cringe. Let's go.
Counterspell cringe. Power word cringe. Oh, D&D.
Yeah, they don't have the book of Weeaboo Fighting Magic, but they do have Paladins, which are pretty close.
Doesn't have the Book of Swords. Not worth playing, honestly. Where's your martial arts?
Right? Oh, man.
The thing is that 5e is actually the game where grappling is one of the best it's ever been.
Oh, yeah,
grappling in 5e is
5e
really
is
good.
great. My wizard used to do it all the time.
Right? Just go swoop.
Because, you know, if there's one thing that you should... The thing I love most about 5e is that everything is backwards. Everything. 100%.
Everything is ridiculously backwards, yes.
What is the tankiest class? Is it the class with the most hit points? The Barbarian?
No. Why would it be?
No, it's the Wizard.
To be fair, at a very high level, level 17 over, the answer to everything is just, it's the Wizard, actually.
Even at low levels, an Abjurer is the best.
The Abjuration Ward falls off over time. It is able to quickly regenerate the ward with certain abuses, because there are some races with Abjuration spells which can be cast infinitely, so you can recharge the ward every battle. But it does fall off because the scaling's not that high.
You don't even need to use the races for it nowadays. You can just take the thing from Tasha's to give yourself at-will mage armor.
Right, because Tasha's book, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, was an incredible book.
Tasha's Crock of Excrement.
Tasha's garbage book that power creeps the game and completely destroys the game balance. Love it. Love you, Tasha.
Oh my,
You're the
what
best.
the fuck were they thinking with Peace Clerics? Seriously. You give a Peace Cleric's warning whatever their stupid bond is called, and then you cast Bless, and now everyone just has +5 to everything forever.
Thank you very much, Tasha.
Balance! In a game about bounded accuracy where bonuses don't get above 11, here's +5 to everything forever.
You're right, Russian bro, you're right. They
That
did
is
nerf fighters
absolutely-
because of the jocks.
Absolutely correct, Russian bro. That's
go-
why fighters...
we're gonna give you a wager right now. Get ready for Swirly, Gary Gygax. And Gary Gygax went, this is someday I'll get back at you by writing mean things in my book.
Gygax actually thought fighters were the coolest thing ever. It wasn't until the,
It was.
yeah, Wizards of the Coast era that everything went to shit.
It is Wizards of the Coast fault, alright? I just picked Gary Gygax, but you're right. Gary Gygax did love fighters.
Like, he had to be talked into even letting Wizards have...
and other casters as his player characters.
It was so...
The Circle of Eight, all Bones Jones, which are all wizards and casters. There's no fighters there.
Yep. Oh, God. I still can't get over the fact that Barbarians in 5th edition are actually one of the worst classes for lifting stuff.
Yes, Bard is better than Barbarian for it, actually, yes, you're right.
Yes! Bard is the strongest, physically most powerful class, according to the numbers.
Barbarian is not the worst for lifting. It's actually like 3rd or 4th place.
No!
But Bard is better.
It can be like 3rd place twice a day. Because rages are a long rest resource, and the only thing they have to boost their athletics
No,
is
for
raging.
pure lift, you're right, Art. No, for pure lifting, Bear Totem outside of rage does give you double lifting.
I mean, sure, but I'm talking about athletics mostly.
Oh, you're talking about athletics specifically.
Yes, the best...
You're right, I will give you that. Twice a day.
Yeah, okay, so Russian Bro, the way it works is that bards get something called expertise, which doubles their
So does
bonus
rogues.
to bullshit. And then you just put that in the expertise and strength, and now you can just... At all levels, you're better at lifting stuff than a barbarian. Just
how
from
do I
level
say
3
this?
onwards.
There's a specific build, which is, how do I say this? That I call a WWE wrestler. And it's just a bard. It's a Valor bard that has a shield in one hand, casts enhanced ability on self. Expertise, advantage, grapple whatever the hell you want, go for it.
Yep. It's actually a build that I've been wanting to play for a while. It's the new Glory Paladin with a Lore Bard. Because Lore Bard cutting words means that you can debuff their athletics checks. Glory Paladin gets advantage with its Channel Divinity as a bonus action. You take expertise. Congratulations, you now have a functional, like, plus 50 bonus over the other guy.
It's just miserable, because it's not like monsters will have athletics, right? They just won't. I actually had a GM once, which I was playing in a casual game with, and they said, no, every monster has athletics now. I've actually made it so every monster has athletics. And I went, well, thank you, actually. Thank you. Obviously, you have my best interests at heart.
Hey, they provide somewhat of a challenge because you now just can't casually ground and pound every motherfucker that walks through.
Still goes, still goes.
Nezu, thank you so much for the follow. Now, I don't tell this to a lot of people. In fact, you're the only person I've ever told this to, which might come across as a bit strange.
The only person in the world?
Only person in the whole world.
All right.
But actually, you're my favorite follower.
What?
That's right. My number one.
No way. You're number one.
Because, Voyage 1986, 1964, something like that.
Something such, yes.
Is one of my favorite Toho songs, and, Super Nezu Man is one of my favorite Mega Man clones.
I was wondering where you were going with that. But if you're asking about Voyage, I think it's 1969. because
1969. Okay.
that's Aaron's theme, I believe.
I thought it was her stage theme.
Is it Aaron's stage theme? No, you're right. What's Aaron's theme? I forget what the name of it is. It's Yahoo.
Oh.
Is it Immortal? How do I say? Let me check, actually.
Actually,
It's Gensokyo Millennium. It's Gensokyo Millennium.
Yes, that's the one. Also, Congo Entertain people. I'm going to be right back.
Go for it. So, greetings everyone. How are you all doing tonight? Both of us have been drinking, and Old Bones Jones is probably using the restroom. Would you like to hear my gun again? Actually, while Old Bones Jones isn't here, listen to this. Sinners, listen to this. This is Mankind's Salvation Plan, the greatest salvation. It is a song about Jesus as a Toho character, Kondeshi. A beautiful song. Jesus Christ can and will shoot bullets at you. It seems like something Jesus Christ would do. Absolutely. What excellent advice would you like? I am absolutely willing to fulfill any redeems that Jones may have.
Yeah! Also, I'm back.
Alright, welcome back.
My fireplace was running a bit hot and I wanted to chill it out.
So, let's choose the raid target. Who do I want to choose?
Hey! Oh, you're choosing the... okay.
I mean, I know you will let me choose the raid targets anyway, but I think that this is premium.
He also hasn't redeemed it yet, so...
I'm looking to see who the funniest person to raid would be. I'll do it later, I suppose.
I really wish Rebel Earth's guy would just allow raids already. I want to raid that guy so many times.
I've seen them as a viewer. Are they a streamer?
Yes!
What do they stream?
Every time I've come into their streams, it's just them getting nibbled on by fish in Morrowind for 2 hours. With no commentary. And emote only chat!
Grey's and Novi Seratsu. That's...
What do you mean
You know what, I'm going to look at them. I'm really curious now what their streams are like. Give me a second. It's Rebel, Earth, Sky, right? Those
yes,
three
one
words,
word.
one after the other.
Rebel, Earth,
Wait,
Sky,
they're live
no...
right now?
No understood. Are they live right now?
They're live right now. They're playing Ark Survival Evolved charity stream.
Ah, yes, because they always are doing a charity stream. There you go.
All right. What is that? Is that a piece of paper with something scrolled on it?
VTubing!
I mean, strictly speaking, it is VTubing. I'm not the person that can argue with that.
Also, good morning, Nightshade channel.
Yes, greetings, Nightshade. I am just looking at this. Why? Oh, there's just an orange tongs holding up the piece of paper. What is that even? Is that a mushroom? What is that?
I have no idea. This is why I love this guy. He's such a what the fuck factor.
That's actually incredible. I've learned something new today.
Oh man, I've not heard about him before. I try to rate him every single stream and he refuses to turn rates on.
So they're always doing a charity stream.
Always doing a charity stream. Streaming something like 200 to 300 hours a month.
Is a piece of paper that is held up by orange tongs.
Yes, and he only ever speaks when his hands are off the controller and he's moving the paper up and down. It's incredible.
Wait, no, they're speaking right now. Just a minute. Let me listen.
Oh.
They're talking about charities.
Huh. I have never actually heard him talk.
Honestly, they might make a good actual VTuber.
They are an actual VTuber, it's just...
They might make a good actual VTuber. You know what I mean.
It is VTubing, though.
You know what I mean? I'm going to explain very quickly. They're using a live cam. I don't think they're a VTuber.
That's the fun part. You can't... Is it VTubing? That's the question.
I'd say no. They're using a live cam. right?
Sure, but I've seen other VTubers use live cams for like cooking streams and whatnot.
Temporarily, yes, temporarily. But this is the only way he does it. He might as well be a real streamer.
But it's an innovative medium for having an animated character jump
You're
around
not
on the
wrong, you're
screen.
not wrong. Animated character. Nice way of saying animated there, Old Bones Jones.
It moves, therefore it's animated, right?
And yes, I'm glad you appreciate my appearance, Nightshades. I am a good martial arts teacher. They're just a tuber. They're just a potato. They're not a VTuber.
Virtual potato VTuber when
V-potato.
anime is cartoon. Ice the Bite gets it.
Is anime a cartoon?
Anime is cartoon.
You're right, you're right. Anime is cartoon.
Using an
But
avatar.
I'm genuinely impressed, though. I'm genuinely impressed.
He
I
also
did not-
streams like 200 to 300 hours a month.
You did say that.
It's
For the
It's
record, I train for 140 hours a month, which is already a significant amount, right? That is a massive amount for a VTuber, but obviously I am nothing compared to the superior endurance, skill, and stamina of Rebel Earth Sky.
he is incredible in so many ways.
It's a shame that they will not allow you to raid them.
I know, or to get out of emote only mode in their chat.
Oh, the drinking is going great.
I'm
I'm on my
almost,
third can right now.
almost through my second cursed beer.
To be fair, one of those cursed beers is equal to 4 cans of this, so I understand.
Yeah, I'm cutting myself off at 3 because I've got stuff I gotta do after this.
Please don't drink too many cursed beers.
And last
Three's a
time
good
when
deal.
I did like 2.5 last night, and I got drunk enough that I just started doing push-ups and punching steel.
So if we're going to end at 3, let's end at the end of the hour, then I think that's a good time to stop it. What do you know, Russian bro? What do you know? Tell me, what do you know?
Someone
Someone already waved
yes.
at him.
Yes, you can icon chat at him like all the time. Well, not all the time, but a couple of times. I want to do it more. Emote-only communication is...
I mean, that's how
it's not good
caveman spoke. That's how cavemen spoke.
Yeah, it's not good for, channel growth, but it's interesting. It's experimental. Ow, my knuckles hurt.
Can you imagine entering the dojo and I have emote-only chats on? Everyone would be so confused.
That would be... Oh, you should do it. You should do it when you have Rebel on as a guest in the dojo.
I don't think I'll be inviting Rebel Earth Sky to the dojo. All both shows.
But it would be so good!
Look, I could make it happen, but I don't feel as if it's a great idea.
The best things in life come from bad ideas.
It would be similar to Calliope Mori collaborating with Trash Taste. You've been trying for months, Bunzel.
Oh man! All right,
I see,
Bunzel. I'm gonna have to change my opinion on you, Bunzel. I am no longer your auntie.
You are now Bunzel's #1 fan. Bunzel's your Oshi now, after Rebel Earth Sky.
I mean, he might be my side Oshi. My
Your
main
side
Oshi is,
Oshi?
of course.
That is such a terrible phrase, side Oshi. That's miserable, Jones.
It's horrid, isn't it?
Obviously, your Oshi is yourself. I know.
Obviously.
Obviously.
But Bunzel might be almost up there with Rebel Earth Sky as my side Oshi.
Close third place. Close third place.
Close third place. I've been wanting to collab with that guy, but I don't think I can run Arc, unfortunately.
Is that all you have to do? Run Arc?
I mean, he loves Arc, he wants to do Arc, he mostly streams Arc, even though I've only ever seen him do Morrowind, it's just a timing thing.
I see.
But I'm sure he'd be down for an Arc collab.
I seriously considered it for a moment, but I decided no, I don't actually want to do that. How do I say this? When I think of an idea, whether bad or good, I run the simulations in my head, right? I go, alright, what do I have to gain from this? What do I have to lose from this? What will happen if I take this option? And it just leads into the void. It's the gaping maw of whatever this is.
An incomprehensible madness that drains even the most resolute-willed man's soul.
Maybe I should just have paper held up with the tongs when I hold a training session.
Yeah, want to do that with your collab with him. Just print yourself out.
No, I would never dox myself by showing a piece of paper held up by tongs.
Oh, now there's the 200 IQ strat. Get
All
a
right,
piece
what
of
is it?
paper, right? Just a
Oh,
photograph of a piece of paper, and then rig it up as a VTuber rig.
Wait, genius, you're genius! All bones George, you're one of the smartest men I've ever spoken to. Great Richard Town, LE. Does LE stand for Lord English? What does it stand for?
I've always assumed it stood for lawful evil.
Tell us, Richard Town. Fantastic!
Also, yeah, there is a Morrowind multiplayer mod for Open Morrowind.
I believe that Buzzle have done it, with Tired Squid, I believe. Should you consult Gematria?
Not on stream, you shouldn't. I learned that one on Sunday. Oh god, did you catch that stream?
I have not. I have to watch the VOD. Tell me about it.
Oh god. So at the end of the stream, I started taking Gematria suggestions from chat, and one of them was I don't remember what it was that was the suggestion. It was something really innocent and innocuous. Something really minor.
Alright.
Like a name of a VTuber or just a common phrase or something, and the top 3 results were Bill Gates' Angel of Death vaccine.
That's the proof. That's the proof. We all have the microchips embedded in us now. Bill Gates has done it.
Thankfully, I don't think Jeff Bezos caught on, which is why I'm still not banned off Twitch somehow.
And later edition, I see Richard Town. I thought it was Lord English from Ultima. No, it was all be Lord British. Lord English is Homestuck.
That's something I should see if I can get running for next week.
Ultima, I'd love to watch you play Ultima.
Ultima 6 specifically, because that's the one that
Ultima's such a great game. It is not by my hand that I am once again given flesh.
That's
it is by humans who wish to pay me tributes.
Yeah,
Have I played Ultima? Yes, I've played every Ultima game. Even 9.
So my plan for this week was all collabs, which is working out so far. My plan next week...
it's barely been working out so far. Arthur Abbott showed up 3 hours late, and your internet decided, no, I actually hate Kongo Kukuretsu.
Comparatively working out. I have 7 collabs.
Comparatively working out. If they represent the 7 deadly sins, ascribe each collab partner to one of them. Go for it.
Oh, God. Okay, so you're Wrath.
I'm Wrath, genuinely.
I mean, you got the Oni form for it.
You're right. I'll take it. I thought I'd be Pride, though.
What are the 7 deadly sins again? There's Pride.
Pride, Wrath, Greed, Gluttony, Sloth, Lust, and there's one more that I'm not immediately remembering. Envy.
Envy, okay. God. What the fuck sin would Arthur Abbott possibly have?
Ooh. I mean, Arthur Abbott's a man of vice, so you take your pick, honestly.
I guess we're gonna go with Envy for now, because it's lame.
Go for Gluttony, because he eats a 3-week-old burrito.
Okay. Sloth, Envy, Lust. Well, Lust is an easy one. That's Callie.
Trivial.
Wrath is Congo. Pride. Maybe Pestis?
Do you think Pride is Pestis? Joe Pestis is a prideful man. What are you doing with Pestis anyway?
What's that?
What are you doing with Pestis anyway?
Version Simulator 2.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yes.
Pride is Nelson. Are you collaborating with Nelson?
I am not. But yes, Citizen Simulator 2, by default, under the costumes, has a skeleton costume and a Plague Doctor costume.
It's actually a good time to just put your schedule up so that we can talk about it here.
Oh yeah, I should do that, actually, yeah.
That way we could mark them, That
way I can actually look at it as well, because... Memory, okay, let me bring this down a bit and cover this over here.
We've been spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise.
Pride is not me, because I'm not collabing with myself this week. I could, that'd be a good future collab.
Let's see it. So Cali Calico's Lost Star, Rabbit's Gluttony, I'm Raph. You have 4 more. We can move these around as well.
Okay.
What's Tekker?
What is Tekker?
What is Tekker?
Is cringe a deadly sin?
Cringe is not one of the deadly sins. It's only venial, unfortunately. It's not cardinal.
Oh, man, unfortunately.
We can't send everyone that has played Fortnite to the deepest bowels of hell.
I guess it would have to be Sloth.
You think Tekker's Sloth and Mithril Ziggy's weird? I mean, Mithril Ziggy's a dwarf, so you're right, I suppose.
Yeah, Mithril Diggy.
What is Paper Bag envious of? That's the real question, Hazmat, because I do
That is a
agree
good
with
question. Bag just chills out and plays video games and then
this.
makes
Right,
silly
Bag's such a
doodles.
good person. I appreciate Bagliacci.
I need to go to Paper Bag's stream one of these days and redeem his doodle stream so I can redeem fucking... Just redeem this emote as my doodle redeem.
Paper Bag causes envy? In what sense, Russian bro? I have never been envious of Paper Bag.
That's because you don't have Karagi as your Yoshi.
Alright, I get it now, It's a good answer, Russian, it's a good answer. I didn't even think about that.
Paper
Do you
Bag
know,
is
literally...
angry because he makes all the Karagi fans jelly.
Literally, one of my first conversations with Karagi was to give her advice, right?
Right?
And she just talked, just out of nowhere, about how much she appreciated Paper Bag. And how Paper Bag was her favorite VTuber. It was ideal, I enjoyed it. It's a very pure appreciation, old bone.
Karagi. Honestly, Karagi is one of 2 VTubers that scares the shit out of me.
In what sense?
She's too pure. It's weird. I don't know how to deal with that.
She's great, she's great.
It terrifies me. It's staring into an unknown, incomprehensible abyss, and I don't know how to deal with it. It's cosmic horror for me.
I can't believe that Karagi is your pile of salt. So who's the other one?
Praise from Abigail, probably, predictably.
She's powerful, praise from Abigail. She's a backbone.
Terrifying.
That woman is strong. That woman is strong.
It didn't probably come across on stream because I've got a poker face like you wouldn't believe, but when someone did the choose the raid target redeem and sent it to her, I was like, oh god, no, please! Ah!
Oh!
I was like, this is my public execution, no! She's too nice, I don't know how to deal with that.
There's nobody I'm particularly afraid of as far as VTubers go.
I mean, when it comes down to meanness and things that make sense to be afraid of, I'm pretty confident I could take both of them in a fight at the same time.
Oh, absolutely, it would be trivial. It would be trivial.
It's not the horror of, like, bodily horror or threat horror. It's the horror of staring into something incomprehensible.
It's the horror of looking straight at the sun, so to speak.
I could comprehend the sun.
Well, not for long if you keep looking at it.
True. I mean, it's not the robe that gives me holy resistance. It's the fact that I am, in fact, an actual priest. Have I told you this story, Kongo?
No, you haven't. Tell me about it.
Alright, so there's a period where, okay, so came back from the dead.
Alright.
No resources to deal with, so therefore I'm homeless, right?
Naturally.
So to get away from sleeping on the streets and having to shake cockroaches out of my clothing every morning, I joined up with a cult.
Alright, reasonable.
And part of that cult, and the stuff that I did in that cult, had me getting legally registered as a priest.
Impressive.
Because apparently it's really easy around here.
You know,
and that's
I'm
why I
something
have
of a
resistance
priest
to holy
myself.
damage.
That makes sense, that makes sense. So, I know 2 VTubers that could actually compete with me in a fight. Obviously, you're one of them.
Right.
The other one is Jibo. Do you know what Jibo is?
Mm-hmm. I don't know him at all,
You know
actually.
what Jibo is?
I have no idea. I never heard of him.
They are Brett and Jibo. They are the great black otaku, this person. And they are an actual WWE wrestler. Their name is Mace.
Oh, I remember you telling me about him. I didn't know who he was, though.
So again, there are 2 VTubers who have any chance that I know of defeating me in a fight. But Mace is 290 pounds, so roughly our weight, and as tall as you. He's 6 feet 7 inches. So he's a touch shorter than you are.
Okay.
It says right there! It is Twitter, Bunzel.
Better put that in there for later.
It says right there it's Twitter, it's not doxing, come on!
You're gonna get banned off Twitch, Congo, I'm sorry.
Wait, you opened Twitter banned.
Unforgivable sin! Keep your social media exclusively to Twitch, just how Bezos wants it.
But you have it right there, you have it there. So you and Jib are the only two people I know in my weight class, in my power class.
I should check this guy out.
Right?
Oh, actually, that reminds me.
Go for
I
it.
wanted to tell this story during this stream, the greatest feat of fame. Feat of
The greatest
strength.
feat of strength, yes, let's hear
Yes,
it.
that I ever did. Which, it is so absurd. Like, the circumstances even leading up to it are pretty absurd too.
Tell me about it.
I was working at a place and received like a 5-ton shipment.
Alright, a 5
Imperial ton, not metric ton.
Yes, I'm aware.
Of steel parts for something, right?
Alright.
And it got stuck in like a hole in the concrete at a weird angle, so the forklift tines couldn't move it.
Alright.
And there was no way to get like a pallet lifter in there to lift it either, so it was just stuck there, and we needed to get it to a place. Really, really
Alright.
badly. So what they did was I got a bunch of chains, right? And strapped it to myself. And dragged it really, really hard and lifted about 5 tons of steel out of that hole.
That is actually impressive. It's believable though.
It's incredible, and like, my boots at the time could not handle the amount of pressure I was putting out. When I had all that stiff from it and I was pushing against it, I shifted onto the balls of my feet to get a little bit more power out of my calves to move it, right?
Alright. Makes sense.
The balls of my feet split straight through the soles of my boots.
Yes, I can
Cut
understand that
them
entirely.
in half.
Because how do I say this? All of my shoes have impressions in them for that reason.
Just literally ripped them in half. My bare feet were putting on the concrete. I think I bruised my feet from the impact, but I managed to get it out of the hole. That was the job
Well
where
done.
That's what the job where started calling me the backup forklift.
What's a great title.
Yeah, I had no idea what the hell what I was doing most of the time at that job, but the foreman was like, yeah, this guy could just like lift infinity million pounds. So we could save a lot of man hours.
You probably shouldn't rely on that strength, how do I say this, for all of those jobs though. That's not really something you should be doing more than once in a lifetime.
It's fine. I had all sorts of stupid shit happen at that job, and all sorts of other jobs too.
I'd imagine. What is my greatest feat of strength? I don't think I have anything of that level, thinking about it.
Really?
I have not done any feat of strength more impressive than literally just actual lifting.
I've been in all sorts of shitty circumstances where strength was the only thing that kept me intact.
How do I say this? The more impressive thing as far as feats go for me isn't sheer strength but reacting to things. Actually moving in time to things.
Oh, right, because all of your senses are like OP.
Specifically in this case. So my reaction time is slowish. It is average or slower, right?
Okay.
But there's a difference between reaction time, the ability to react to something, and actual reaction time, practical reaction time. How long it takes for you to actually start moving after you react to something. Do you get me?
Right, yeah.
For example, if you see a ball falling, some people might see the ball falling but then be too slow to actually do anything about it.
Right.
But a person with fast active reaction time will actually be able to stop the ball, so on and so forth.
Alright, with you so far.
And that's probably what I'm most proud of as far as the sense goes, active reaction time.
Okay. I mean, 4 of my 5 senses are fucked, so...
They're garbage, it's incredible.
Yes, I pretty much just have to rely on hearing, which is ridiculous.
And I've said this before, but hearing is my worst sense.
Because it's yet another example of how we're opposites and stuff.
I mean, those are color
enough
palettes,
of those already.
Right? Those are color palettes. Actually, do you know that I literally have an exorcism rope wrapped around my waist right now?
Yes, I did notice that.
I am bound, or rather, this was what tied me to a rock for 1,000 years.
Oh, that's a good way to keep it around.
I mean, it's an invincible rope. I might as well carry it around, right? It's just useful.
Yeah. Rope that you can't cuff. It's the impressive thing I've done is tripping while running into a roll back up running.
Ooh.
You know, funny you should mention that. I did something similar to that last night.
Did you?
Yeah, 3 whole cursed beers. I tripped and stumbled forward and was gonna, face plant into the ground, right? Well, the floor.
Then you went...
Yes. I just was like, you know what, let's just punch the ground, and the knockback from my punch knocked me back onto my feet. Just punched the ground so hard that I knocked myself back upright, and that's part of the reason my knuckles hurt so bad right now.
I dislike that, I dislike that.
It's fine, it's better than face planting, right?
You're right, it is better than face planting. I'll give you that much. Now back plus 3.2. What do you mean by 3.2?
It's a specific number.
Why 3.2, Hazmat? What does this mean? What does it all mean?
What does it mean? Last night was fun, and it looks like Little Lady Red split, so I can actually talk about enjoying it, since she was the one who organized it.
Oh, tell me about it. What happened?
Now I can actually say nice things about her without her doing her stuff. Also, good morning, King
Greetings,
Bertil.
King Bertil.
Random numbers that sound appropriate. Gotcha.
That's what it has, meant. I see.
Yeah, she organized, technically we were supposed to get drunk and watch movies together, but instead what happened is that we got drunk and then shitposted memes at each other for 4 hours.
Incredible. That's the ideal right there.
That is the ideal night out.
What a conversation, just trading memes.
Just throwing memes at each other. Bunch of skeletons and 2 others.
I forget how many skeletons were in that Amogus collaboration.
Oh, only 16? Only 12 actually. No, it's 12.
Not a bad number. Not a bad number of skeletons.
I mean, it's rather unfortunate that we couldn't get more people going, but other people were busy or had other plans. There's currently 76 skeleton VTubers in the secret Skeletor.
The skeleton server.
Yes. The secret one that I'm not allowed to talk about.
Could you pile together and become Nito?
I wouldn't want to try it. It seems like one of those things that's ripe to go wrong, like trying to Mecha Shiva IRL.
Mecha Shiva. So, the highest pile of people. Do you know when you have someone sit on your shoulders in the pool?
Yes.
The highest pile I've gotten is 3. So, 3 people, 1, 2, 3 on my shoulders.
Okay.
And that's actually far more difficult than it seems because it's so wobbly.
Oh man, I didn't even consider that. Oh man.
Thankfully, in a pool you can just drop them.
Yeah.
But it just towered up, it went whoop, 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 whoop.
I mean, in terms of weight, that's like nothing, but...
the weight is not an issue. I believe, in terms of weight, it was only 200 kilograms on my shoulders.
Yeah,
which wasn't bad at all. It's
that's like barely warm-up at weight.
But the wobbling is what really got me, because keeping that together for any more than a few seconds just does not happen. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, that would, I didn't even consider that.
Mecha Shiva. Just drop them on people.
Actually, though, that reminds me of another work story that I kind of wanted to talk about.
Tell me about it.
So, I think I mentioned this to you once, how I've got a guy I work with there who's got about your build.
Alright, you did mention this man, because you told me this man's just like you.
Yeah. He's ridiculously wide, not exactly fairly short, but a little bit shorter. I mean, he's shorter than me, but that's most people.
Wide Putin.
He's basically wide Putin without the Photoshop. He's like actual wide Putin in real life. Wide Putin real.
Wide Putin real?
Yes.
Not fake? Real.
Anyway, his back was acting up, so he wanted me to, wrap my arms around him and squeeze him and lift him to pop it for him.
Alright.
And one thing led to another, and he wanted to prove that he was, really strong by picking me up.
Alright.
He couldn't fit his arms around my chest.
How short is his arm span?
it's not short. It's perfectly proportionate for his size. I'm just... This might come as a revelation to you, but I'm kind of big.
Wait, there's Rayleigh! Greetings, Rayleigh! Come on, let's go!
Thank you so much for that. Okay, so that's who we're gonna raid.
Raid
again. Actually, /raid again. Let's fucking go.
Let's raid Rayleigh.
But no,
you only need the biggest follows in the world. But yes, this man could not wrap his arms around your chest.
Like the super wide shoulders, but my torso and hips are absurd. They're unfair. They're overpowered. So he couldn't fit around my chest.
Odd.
Perfectly normal, arm length. It's just I'm big.
You are big.
Kind of funny.
I feel I would be able to do that, but I wouldn't lift you by your chest anyway.
Yeah.
Don't you normally lift people by their hips or stomach?
I mean, yes, but he was making a point.
I see.
He probably could have grabbed my belt and lifted me. He's strong enough for that.
I believe it.
I mean, he is also a guy who can just pick up cars.
Greetings, Delta 02500.
Welcome, Delta Zero. Yeah, it's not the other guy was short, it's just that I'm ridiculous.
I mean, I'm very happy to see more wide representation in the world.
Literally wide Putin without the Photoshop.
That's me, I'm white Putin.
He really is, it's absurd.
You can see our shoulders, or rather, I think I'm a touch wider than you.
Yeah, he's slightly wider than me.
Despite us being like this.
Despite me having 8 inches on this guy.
You do have a whole 8 inches on me. I'm 184 centimeters.
It's absurd. It's ridiculous.
This is the width.
The girth.
The
power.
Girth, you have it. So what I've been doing lately is that I hung my sandbag back up, my heavy bag rather. Because my punches have been getting weak. I have been just grappling that thing for years at this point. This man needs to learn how to punch again.
Oh, yeah. I remember that story.
My favorite punches are hooks, though. I could throw hooks all day. One of my favorite martial arts is Russian Sambo. Sambo is such a cool martial art.
Entertain them for a bit. I just accidentally put beer everywhere.
Oh, you might want to clean that up.
Yeah, a little bit. Before it ruins like my mouse and makes it all sticky.
So, sinners, do you want to confess your sins to your Shisho? I would like to become, how do I say this? I would like to sign up for some sort of ability to marry people someday. I feel it would just be amusing to have me as the person marrying you. But do you have any sins, sinners? Tell me. Confess. What crimes have you accrued? What karma have you gathered? If anything.
What karma they've gathered is not stubborn to me. Views are up, follows are up, subs are down. What's up with that?
You prefer straight jabs and uppercuts. What, the other 3 punches? Delta Zero? There's only 4 punches, Delta Zero. You said the other 3.
I mean, so there's also smashes. There's smashes.
That means you just dislike hooks. Well, how do I say this? Smashes are shovel hooks. They're shovel hooks.
They're hooks, but they're also like uppercut. It's weird.
I suppose you're right. I suppose that I would register a shovel hook, a smash, as a 5th punch. You're right. Because they're diagonal.
Yeah. Speaking of which, actually, I recently read through Hajime no Ippo.
The entire thing?
Yep.
What's your favorite fight then?
Oh, favorite fight.
Or favorite character is good as well.
Mashima. That's easy.
Right! Mashima is so good. And I thought you'd appreciate him because he has the Detroit style. He has the Hitman style, right?
It's the same thing that I do because at my size, my head is not a target. You can't reach it.
It's the best. My favorite character in Hajime no Ippo is Date Eiji.
Who the hell? Oh,
He's the man who fought Ricardo Martinez and broke everything.
Yeah, the old guy. How tall is Jones?
The old man.
Hardcore ex-hunter. With no boots on, I am 6'8" or 204 centimeters.
This man's tall. This man's 20 centimeters taller than me.
However, I have those manlet cope boots with the thick sole, so when I have those on, I go up to 6'11".
Cope boots.
And or 212 centimeters, which is terrifying to deal with.
The difference in height is not that large between us because I wear 20 centimeter getter.
Yeah.
Bondeshi.
Also, good morning, the Mechanic Cat.
Yes, greetings, the Mechanic Cat.
I mean, I don't know about good. I'm more evil than good. But also, I'm drunk, so it's fine.
Mashiba has a great fighting style. He's also just fantastic.
Right? He is like half of what I do when I was boxing.
He will not let Ippo touch his sister. Ippo will never touch his sister.
He's so great about that. But I love flicker jabs. That's another work story I should talk about. Flicker jabs.
Tell me about it. Flicker jabs, yes. It's about them.
So I got approval to wear a specific type of gauntlets. I can probably pull up a picture of them on Amazon or whatever. They're modified. They've got steel in like the knuckles and the fingertips. And I can flicker jab with them. And Kongo, why don't you explain to the sitters why flicker jabs are so unfair?
So flicker jabs are a type of punch that allows for a full extension of your arm, and the longer your arms are, the longer your reach is with a flicker jab. Or Bones Jones has incredibly long arms, they might as well be a spear at that point.
Yep. They also come from lower down, so against a lot of people they come in from a blind spot for a free hit.
Though it might not be as effective for you since you're so tall at that point.
It still gets them.
Obviously, yes, but I'm just saying, you might not get that effect from it.
Well, it's worked so far. Maybe it's just because they come out fast as hell.
Maybe it's a skill issue. It's a skill issue on their part. Skill issue.
So it's basically this long-range jab that you can't really counter except by taking it on the face.
I mean, you can block it, but that's it. It's not really going to do much. Because if you just block it, you're going to take more flicker jabs.
And I've got these gauntlets with metal knuckles. That means that these jabs have just straight-up knockout power.
They go bop.
I just have these lightning-fast, long-range jabs from way outside your reach that, like, if I don't hold back, I might accidentally kill you with them. And it's not fair in a fist fight.
So, personally, my favorite striker are just hooks. Do you know why I like hooks, Jones?
Why do you like hooks?
If a hook misses, you can turn it into a grapple.
Ah, yes, because you grapple. You punch to get into a grapple. Did I get
you punch to get to a grapple, yes.
I did not get Iron Sand gloves, although I do have those. Let me see if I can find their...
Yeah, show a picture. Show a picture of them.
Let me see if I can find a picture of them.
So the thing is, a hook, right? Do you know, if they move towards you, then your hand is behind their back, grapple. If they move away from you, grapple.
Yeah, this is very close to the pair that I have.
Hooks also have the strongest power on hits. So they're just nice. They're nice. I love hooks.
Understandable. I mean, I like jabs because I like taking out my opponent without getting hit.
What? You don't like to get hit? My god.
I mean, it gets even more important when they have, like, knives and other sorts of bullshit.
Alright, I might use jabs if they have knives too.
Yes,
probably that's a good idea to get stabbed. Says man who got stabbed.
I was taking it easy on him. That was my issue. Yeah, these things are very close to what I have.
These look fantastic.
Yes, they're all painted black and they're modified slightly.
You know what I like? I like the blades between the knuckles on these.
Right? Yeah, mine don't have that. They just have, you know, nice steel caps on the end. But they're basically gauntlets. I had them modified after the fact to fit me better because there's a huge modification aftermarket here.
How do I say this? I'm surprised it has second joint caps as well.
Those are actually really common. Most things have those.
I suppose I've just not worn enough of these. But those second joint caps, I mean, or rather, those second joint caps are metal also.
Yes.
Because normally they wouldn't be.
They also, mine have specific extra, like, stiff leather plates that overlap on the inside for grappling edged weapons.
Do you want to know something dumb? Do you know about the Chinese long punch?
Chinese? I've never heard of the Chinese long punch.
So long punch is a punch where you extend your range so make a fist right now, right?
Alright.
And then open up your hand, but keep your fingers bent.
those! I know about
use
those.
the second joint to punch someone. So they go, ooh, it's the long punch. It gives you 1 more inch of reach. Ooh, you're going to destroy your fingers. Chinese martial artists are insane. I don't know why they do this.
Actually, I do use those from time to time when I'm intent on killing someone.
I mean, why?
Because compile it like that and then aim for the windpipe.
It does work. It does work, but you can just punch them. It doesn't make much of a difference.
You can, but it's much thinner.
If you have a big fist, right? If you have a big fist, then it might not go between the chin
thinner.
thing.
So you can twist it and slip it between guards. It has its uses. It's not about
It does have
reach.
uses. It does have uses, but also I would never use it because it might break my fingers.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you hit a hard target without like the head, you've just broken your fingers. If you've hit a soft target like the windpipe or the clavicle or
I mean, with a windpipe,
chest.
there's also an even dumber. There's also an even dumber strike called the spear hand. You know the spear hand, right?
Yes, that's just holding your hand out flat.
No, it's even dumber than that.
No, okay. Is
So
it just
you
two
take-
fingers?
So you make with your ring finger and your pointer finger, make a triangle under your middle finger. So touch those together, and then you put your middle finger on top of them, and that's a proper spear hand shape.
Okay.
Like
wow,
that.
that would not work at all with my hand shape. Holy shit.
If you have long fingers at all, they will snap.
Yeah, my middle finger, like the last knuckle, is just completely unsupported.
They go. And great simple Walker 32. Everything is
Hey.
well. We're talking about dumb martial arts moves. We love them.
are. Yeah, I do love my hand shape though. It's so nice.
My hands are spheres when they're fist shaped.
Oh man,
So
mine
I'm
are,
going.
mine are the
Almost joke.
nastiest triangles.
Almost just listen to this, all right?
Listening.
I'm going to snap my fingers. Listen to what this sounds like.
I remember this trick.
It's not a trick. My palm pads are so thick that when I snap, it just sounds like you're hitting a piece of meat.
Yep.
I am not snapping improperly. I'm snapping with the proper force, with as much force as I can muster even. But it's nothing. You get no sound out of it.
Yep, I have a completely different issue in that you sort of get like, hold on, let me...
Let me hear it.
Is that coming through at all?
It is. I can hear the snap.
Yeah, it's just, knuckles don't snap at all. There's just bone there. Bit of an issue. Can't snap worth a shit. That was me snapping. It just sounds like two knuckles hitting each other.
Crack them a bit, not break them off your hands. Crack what? My knuckles? I can crack my knuckles. Do you know, Jones, that I have a godly ability, and that's sleeping standing up?
Oh, that one. Yes, I do know about that.
I can Sigmir of Katarina at any point.
Just lock your knees and lean against the thing.
No leaning. I don't have, if I can lean, I don't need to. If I don't need to lean, I can just not lock my knees. But
Xylophone sounds.
if I'm not leaning on anything, then I do have to lock, obviously.
Yeah. I can't do that, like, at all. If I tried to lock my knees for an extended period, I'd just destroy my knees.
Please don't. You need those.
I need those.
You need those.
I need those.
What will you do without your knees? Nothing.
Sit and stream, I guess.
To be fair, if you did... Alright, so let's say that we remove your forelegs from your height. You would still be 5'6", wouldn't you?
Let me grab my tape measure real quick and find out.
Go for it. I'm an onion bro. I am an onion bro. I love onions and I wear the Katarina armor.
Aha, found it.
Onion ninja. I am the sensei from Parappa the Rapper. Oop oop. This is where I saw my parents die, Parappa. This is where you saw your parents die. Oop oop.
Alright, measuring now.
Welcome back, welcome back.
Heel to there is 19, almost 20 inches.
Right, so you would still be 6 feet.
Not quite 6 feet. Be 5.
Wait, no, 20 inches, 20 inches, I see.
Yeah, 5.
Are you trying to do the math? It would be 5 flat then, in that case.
I'd be 5'1".
Makes sense. I mean, that's still quite tall for a man with, no forelegs.
Yeah, that's almost more intimidating. Because
So I'm
around here, 5'2" is like average for a dude.
I'll be right back because I'm going to get my tape measure, and you're going to understand how short my legs are just from hearing this. Be right back.
Yes, Congo doesn't have legs. But yeah, around here, 5'2" is about average for a dude, and you know how in the States 6'2" is the sexy tall that all the women want after? 5'2" is the average height, and 5'4", 5'5" is the sexy tall around here. It's the tall that all of the women want. So if you're taller than 5'5" and you come down to purgatory, you will have all the bitches desperate for you due to height. Which adds to my intimidation factor at my job, because I am the tallest person most people around here have ever heard of, just straight up. Part of my, people used to know me as the Giant. It was, good fun. 5'8", yeah, that would be, 5'8" is considering, terrifyingly tall around here, go apply for basketball. 6'2" is incomprehensible.
So my forelegs heel to knee are only 16, 17 inches.
Jeez.
These legs are short, Jones.
That is I don't know if that's terrifying, but that's certainly something. Yeah, this is why Congo's in my weight category, because he replaced all of his legs with more torso.
Right, optimal. Reduce leg slider, increase torso slider. Nope.
You say that, but I'm pretty sure I could just walk fast and get away from your sprinting speed.
I could catch up to you within, how do I say this? If you start within 6 feet of me, you couldn't run away fast enough.
That's because you just jump at me.
I would lunge. My lunge would be fast enough to get you. But if you could actually just run from me, there's no way I'd catch you. There's zero way I'd catch you.
Yeah, and I'm not even, built for running. My hips are way too wide to get an efficient stride.
Same here.
Hold on, I've got a tape measure. Let's measure this out. Yes. Hip width, not wrapping it around, just total width, is 22 inches.
I suppose I'll measure mine as well. I'll be right back. Let me get that.
All torso. Well, if you ask Congo, that's, the best way to live. I like my build a lot more. It's closer to Vitruvian Man, but, big. I just noticed that my tape measure doesn't have centimeters for some reason. What the fuck is up with that? It just, instead of having centimeters on the other side, it has, 1 foot X inches. Bizarre. Especially since centimeters are standard around here. That is weird, actually.
Alright, I have it here. What were you measuring, Jones? Your hips?
Not wrapping it around it, just roughly the width, which was 22
Roughly
inches.
the width. 22 inches? My goodness.
I'm huge!
Oh, goodness, I dropped that. But mine looks to be about 18 or so.
Yeah, my hips are one of my hips and lower body are just, they're ridiculous. I've measured my muscles back when I had those.
Do your shoulders.
Oh, shoulders, okay. Let's see. Same size as my hips, actually.
22, quite impressive.
I'm just a brick.
My shoulders are 24 inches across.
This motherfucker. I've got fucking 8 inches on him. His shoulders are still broader than mine.
This man's a triangle con, does he?
Simple Walker 32's devotion to the.
Our gratitude for the 6 months.
6 months in advance.
Simple Walker.
Wow,
Look at
that is some committal. And that's why you're my favorite subber, Simple Walker.
Your favorite subscriber? You're number 1?
My number 1, because he's got committalist. He's going straight for it. Jones is not aerodynamic, no. My job is not to fly.
Here's a fun one, Jones. Here's a fun one. Measure your neck.
Neck, oh,
That's all around, just width.
Just width, okay. Got it? built like a Dorito.
Because I am built like a Dorito. I mean, it's not bad to have an 18-inch waist, you know, or rather hips. That's
Yeah,
nothing.
so what's your neck?
Mine is 7 inches, it looks like.
Mine's 3.5 because it's just vertebrae.
Wait, your neck, pardon, that's not 7, I miscalculated. It's only 6.
So twice as mine because it's just vertebrae.
You're right. But you could probably use your jawline as a rough indicator of your neck.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. Let's try that.
Because the bottom of your jaw should be just slightly smaller.
That is 5.5.
Yeah, so mine is 6.5 to 7. Again,
Ridiculous.
which is ridiculous considering I'm smaller than you.
You're built like a Dorito. You are literally a Dorito.
I'm a Dorito. To be fair, I have a stomach for a reason, and that is to keep my core protected.
I do really miss how ridiculously thick my thighs were, though. Holy shit. Yes! My thighs, thighs are just muscle, right?
Yes, thighs are just pure muscle, basically.
Muscle and bone. My thighs were thicker around than most people's waist.
Yep, makes sense to me. Same here.
So when I said I've got more power in one limb than most people have in their whole body, I'm not fucking around.
Absolutely not.
It's just... Can't thighs be fat? I mean, they can be, but even when I was, in a cutting cycle, they were still, 36 to 40 inches around.
Thighs can contain fat, but they don't really contain that much of it. The insides of your thighs can get some fat, but not much, compared to how large they are.
It used to be a serious issue to find pants that my legs could fit inside.
You will never find pants.
Oh god, it's so
Jones,
horrible.
if it's wrestling, I'll win. There's no chance Jones would beat me in wrestling.
Yeah, especially if he doesn't have a shirt.
Right? We're just wrestling? That's fine. You can't punch in wrestling, Delta Zero. I'm completely willing. To wrestle Jones.
Pretty much all of my grappling tech is based around grabbing people around the, arm and shoulders, because that's all I can fucking reach, because they're so goddamn tiny compared to me. So I can't do, sophisticated belt tosses, because how the hell do I get that low?
Right. But again, if Jones could... if it was boxing, I'd lose to Jones. Oh, there we go, see? As I said,
Yeah,
if it was boxing, I'd lose to Jones.
Yeah,
I'm
boxing...
not-
his
I'm
head
not-
would just get beaten black and blue by
Unwilling to
flicker
say
jabs.
yes.
Until he tries to close the distance, at which point I would
just immediately dash in, and then you just decapitate me. I know, so it goes.
Yes, I would switch from, outboxing Detroit style to a good old
Also,
just straight up slugging
Your
with
legs are just
orthodoxy.
longer than mine, so you just be faster in the ring. I wouldn't win. It's
Yes.
fine. I wouldn't win, it's alright.
Oh, Russian Pro redeemed the take a shot redeem that I can't do because I don't have shots to take.
Just how do I just reject that one?
I will, however, take a chug of cursed beer.
Oh, reasonable. I'll do the same then. Not
Actually, I'll
cursed
be right
beer,
back
but
in real
my
quick.
last
Hold on.
drink. Go for it.
I'm gonna entertain people.
Absolutely. You don't have to tell me to entertain people. It's just my natural state of being. But in wrestling Kondeshi, I will lose to basically nobody. You would have to be a serious jiu-jitsu practitioner to have a chance against me. Or judo. Judo works as well. Do love judo. Love that judo, Kondeshi. But it's in the art of throwing people. I am fantastic. In an MMA fight, I think Jones would have the advantage in an MMA fight, I'll be honest. No, actually, I think I could. No, I think Jones would have the advantage in an MMA fight. Yes, I would say so. An MMA fight is mostly striking for the most part, so I think he'd win.
Oh man, MMA fight? That would be,
Because how do I say this? Because the ring is soft, I would have to submit you, which gives you more chances to escape. If we were
Right.
fighting on concrete, I could actually do a lethal takedown on you.
I mean, same, because concrete is where I spend most of my time fighting.
That's what I'm saying, though, because throws are more powerful on concrete. I think that you would actually have an advantage in a soft ring, is what I'm saying.
Alright, I think in an MMA fight it would come down to the clothing that we're wearing, because if I can get his upper body...
I mean, we're shirtless and we're wearing pants, so I'm pretty happy about that, if I'm honest.
Yeah, if we're both wearing pants, then he's got the advantage. If I don't have pants, then it's about even, and it turns into the ugliest punch ever.
The thing is that it's about striking. MMA is mostly about striking, and the ring's quite big. So if you just run away from me... But I suppose if I do a dash it on you and grapple you, that would be still very favorable to me, and you're wearing pants.
Yes, it would be favorable to you, but I do know what sort of
I think
grapple rushing you
think
do, and I've done just enough Muay Thai to have the counter.
I think an MMA fight would be very even, actually. We can just say it that way, right?
It would be real close. It's hard to say. Also, Russian Bro redeemed weapon lore on a weapon picked by Kongo.
Do you know what the Nagamaki is?
Not a clue, actually, because
That's fantastic.
I'm specialized in, European weaponry, mostly.
Well, I'm not picking a European weapon for you, but I want to show you what the Nagamaki is, because this weapon is cool as hell.
Alright.
It is a katana that is half-handle. It is massive. Look at this.
Oh, like, what's his name? Yeah, like what Alon uses.
Like what Alon loses. We talked about it before.
Yeah.
Because that's the only time you've seen it from Alon.
Yes.
But I will pick. Let's go Halberd then. Halberd. Very nice, very simple.
Halberds. Halberds. Halberds have a lot of interesting things you can use about those, because halberds actually had a lot of derivations. Like, okay, here's the Nagamaki. You might recognize it as the Alon sword.
The Alon sword is such a good weapon, though. We love the Alon sword. Return to the Dream World Magpie 0928.
Never actually used it, but the thing about halberds is, they went through an absolutely insane amount of adaptations, evolutions, because, like, some people would call the Dane axe the earliest halberd. Other people would call something that's called the Viking halberd the earliest halberd. The general idea of long stick with a pokey bit and also a choppy bit.
It's an enduring idea.
It's an enduring idea that dates back to the old days, but also it arises independently from a bunch of different cultures. Alright, Magpie, we'll be ending soon. You won't be missing too much.
Because everyone wants the optimal weapon, right? Everyone wants the optimal weapon. And the only downside of the halberd is that it's heavy. That's it.
Ooh, actually, there's a good little bit. There's actually, battlefield formation halberds and dueling halberds.
I have not seen dueling halberd. Show me.
Oh, I don't have any pictures on hand, but, basically, they've got spiky bits on the other end.
Ah! The ultimate melee weapon, yes.
Yeah, you could, like, thrust into it, then immediately turn around and turn that into, like, any sort of other attack with the other spiky bits on the other end. Basically the fucking fantasy twin blade that you see all the time.
The thing about the halberd is, one, heavy, two, expensive. That is why it is not surpassing the spear as far as an infantry weapon goes.
And the thing about dueling halberds specifically is that those spiky bits on the other end, when you draw back to stab someone, you're gonna hit the guy behind you with them.
But yes, an Apache Knuckle Duster request from the Mechanic Arts.
Ooh, the Apache Knuckle Duster. That is a fun little combo weapon. Do you know about that one, Kongo?
Yes, I do know about the Apache Knuckle Duster, which I believe is brass knuckles, revolver, knife.
Yes.
It's a dumb weapon. It's ridiculous.
It is an absolutely ludicrous combination.
It is the dumbest weapon, but I love it.
It's brass knuckles with a revolver on one end and a stabby bit on the other end.
Do the 5-knuckle shuffle.
It's so silly. The Apache name was after not, the helicopter, but the North American tribes.
Oh?
Yes, because they were famous at the time for excessive cruelty.
I mean, I'd say, isn't the Apache helicopter also based on those tribes anyway?
Yes. But most people, when they hear Apache, will think of the helicopter rather than the tribes. And this was just like, oh yeah, England heard that these tribes were like super scary, so they named a weapon after them to make the weapon sound super scary.
Reasonable.
It'd be like, I don't know, calling it an Oni Knuckle Duster or Vampire Knuckle Duster or something.
That makes sense.
Ooh, the Solar Clam. So, this
I'm not certain about this one. What is this?
I am very certain about this one because it's a specific legendary weapon.
Oh?
Yes, in Gaelic myth, which is why the pronunciation makes no sense. It's how would you pronounce this, Kongo?
Claim Soleil.
Right, the actual name is Cleve Solish.
I would have never figured that out.
Right? Because it's Welsh, and Welsh is horrible.
It's
Yes.
Welsh.
Yes, it's been a while since I read up on it, but I believe it was like a shard of actual light that was fashioned onto a hilt.
Oh wait, I've seen this sword before. I'm looking at it now. I'm reading the article for it.
Yeah, it's from Symphony of the Night. Or not Symphony of the Night, Area of Sorrow.
I believe, wasn't it also in Symphony of the Night?
I don't think so. I don't think it was introduced till Area of Sorrow, where it became
But
sort
it's
of
not-
like...
I do recognize it from Castlevania mostly, but I went to
Yes.
read it, yes, I see it now.
Prussian needle gun. I've never even heard of that one, so I can't do anything about that. My specialty is European, medieval, and earlier weapons. Well, Renaissance and
on.
earlier weapons.
Melee weapons, come on.
Actor reminds me of what I tried to design a real weapon. Spear in the end of a small, sharp circle or hula hoop. Or better as a normal spear would be better.
I mean, that's an actual weapon.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about the hula hoop design, that actually showed up in a specific variation of Swiss halberds, where the center of the head would be hollow to cut down on weight.
Here, just a moment. It would basically just be this, right? It would be a shovel. It would be a Chinese shovel or Chinese spear, like this, right?
Oh, the shovel
Like
and
these.
shovel.
Like these.
Yeah!
That's basically it. Here you are. Well, I suppose that Old Bones Jones can just show it.
I will show you in just a second. I will bring it up on stream. Wow, that's tiny. Hold on. Whoop!
Small weapon.
Oh, I still love that freaking clip from, what's her face? You know the one. That one Dawn
Inugami
VTuber.
Corona, yes.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
there you
Karagi.
are, Russian bro.
Inugami Karagi, that one.
Inugami Karagi. Damn, they stole your design idea. You know, 4,000 years ago, they stole your design idea.
Ooh, Scottish Claymore. Now, Claymore is a really interesting choice because Claymore doesn't really the common association with Claymore nowadays is specifically a two-handed greatsword with quatrefoils on the end of the hilt.
Yes.
Or not end of the hilt, end of the quillons. But Claymore just meant sword, essentially. There was the basket-hilted Claymore, and the two-handed Claymore is a different thing. And the Claymore, the Scottish Claymore, which would be what would technically be called a broadsword, which isn't what you
Iconic
think
Claymore,
it is.
so to speak. Yes.
It is, okay, so the name broadsword, people think of it as, like an arming sword that's particularly broad, right?
You have it.
The actual reason it was called a broadsword is because it was contemporary with the rapier. It's just a fat rapier that you can chop with like crazy.
They were basically just naming things in comparison to other things. Oh, here's a rapier, here's a broadsword.
Yeah.
This sword is big, this sword wide, it's broad.
Yes, if you take a rapier and then make it broader and make it shorter, that's a broadsword. It usually has the really complex hilt guards as well.
Rapiers are such a cool weapon, though.
They're really interesting, especially the more exotic ones commissioned by crazy noblemen.
I mean, right, they don't intend to duel, but they want to be able to threaten people with a duel. And they want to be able to go, look at my sword in case someone challenges me to a duel, look at my machismo.
See, there's actually one specific one that I'm a huge fan of. I don't remember what the hell the rapier was called, but
Ooh, exciting.
it was made by a specific nobleman who was famous for dueling. And, the duels were to first blood, so having a long, thin blade that could draw blood would absolutely get you the win, right?
That's fencing for you. That's fencing.
So he made, almost a 14-foot, two-handed great rapier.
Incredible. That's beautiful.
Carry
Why
it
isn't that in
around.
Dark Souls? Why isn't that in Dark Souls, huh?
Right? Because no one's heard of it. Also, Mithril Digging redeemed Evil Cackle.
Certainly.
Let's go
Go for
on
it.
3, Congo.
Certainly.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, rapiers
There you
are fun. Rapiers are a lot more strength-based than a lot of people think.
I mean, if it's a melee weapon, it's strength-based. It's that simple. The only
mean-
exception maybe are like knife level weapons.
rapiers are thin enough that they can actually slip into someone's body without using any of your own force. You could just, like, hold it out and let them run into it.
True, true.
But actually holding it out for so long takes a ton of strength. It's really hard to do.
Keeping the rapier stance is miserable. That's why fencers are so muscular.
It's wretched. Incredibly difficult.
How are you doing with your third can, Jones?
But halfway down it.
Alright, we can go ahead and finish it first then. Before we end the night.
Yeah.
Poggers? I mean, rapiers were for dueling, they weren't for battlefield use, Russian bro.
Yeah, you wouldn't really use a rapier for most... I mean, there were duels where armor was allowed, but generally you wouldn't use a rapier for those. There's actually really interesting anti-armor rapier technique called the kongouVT.
Are you not familiar? Tell me about it.
It's named after, of course, Jarnac, a French commoner who took out a nobleman who was wearing almost full plate in a duel with rapiers.
Did it just get stuck in the joints? What did he do?
The thing is that it's almost full plate. The reason you don't... Armor doesn't armor, like, below the knees most of the time, because it's not a valid target
There's
in a
no real
sword fight.
reason for that, yes.
So the coup de Jarnac, which was a technique he came up with on the fly during the duel, was he basically closed to, not even just grappling range, but literally their chests were against each other. And
then...
he grabbed the rapier and put it against the back of his opponent's calf and did a draw cut against it.
That's miserable. Well done.
Yes, and it won him the duel because his opponent couldn't stand afterwards. And the nobles were absolutely furious about this. This guy who was supposed to be chosen by God, who was supposed to have all these crazy armor, who was supposed to win, got his ass whooped to a new technique that this guy came up with on the fly.
What's fun in regard to armor is that Jiu-Jitsu was originally invented as a weaponless way to fight people with armor.
Oh, the other thing about this is that actually, it had a bunch of laws related to it about how using it was a symbol of cowardice and weakness in a duel. They were so butthurt, they passed like a dozen laws outlawing it.
Mm-hmm. All you did was spam. If you didn't use that cheap move, I would have won.
Literally exactly that. But yeah, he sliced his calf muscle in half and his opponent couldn't duel anymore either. Also, yes, the messer is fun.
It's really his fault for letting him get into chest range to begin with. Like, that's just a skill issue.
I mean, it kind of is, but it's also going completely against a lot of the formal dueling techniques taught at the time.
But also, it's a skill issue.
Yeah. He was close enough that he basically bound up his opponent's arms with his offhand and just cut.
Unfortunate. Should have invested in leg armor, come on.
Should have.
Come on.
It's also really interesting because the technique could only work with a rapier because he basically put his right arm, the one holding the rapier, over his opponent's shoulder in order to cut his calf.
What, like the... I was doing the movement, but obviously you couldn't see it. Like, I see what you're doing now. Oh my goodness, that's hard.
Yes. And that is what he managed to do. Just basically, his shoulder went over his shoulder. He put his whole arm down and just barely managed to get a drop cut on his calf at a weird angle.
It's like trying to do a wedgie on someone from the front.
Yes. Very similar. The technique, if you want to look it up, is, I believe, spelled this way. But I could be wrong because French is a trash language that shouldn't be spoken.
French is garbage.
Coup de
Coup de Jarnac. Coup de Jarnac, rather.
Dueling nobles most dramatic when you... That is actually literally
That's
what
actually
happened.
What happened, yes.
That is completely accurate. The commoner didn't use the dueling meta, did something wrong and stupid, and it worked. And the nobles were so pissed they couldn't win with their shop items that they outlawed it.
Cowardly. Bad move. It's not even that hard of a move to defeat, it's just that it's one of the only moves that do anything against armor.
Right? And no one would see it coming because, like, the whole point of rapier dueling is to stay away from the opponent and poke them.
No poking here.
But the guy turned it into a wrestling match.
That's what I'm talking about, though. Again, that's why I mentioned Jiu-Jitsu.
Right,
Jiu-Jitsu
yes.
is the art of wrestling people with armor.
Really? Okay.
Yes, it was originally invented by samurai, who had somehow lost their weapons in the midst of the battlefield, so they can wrestle other samurai.
Ah, okay.
So for the longest time, it was a purely noble art, where commoners were not allowed to learn it.
Huh. That's kind of similar to the Viking martial art Glima.
I'm not familiar with Glima. Tell me about it.
Oh, you don't know? Okay. So, a lot of people out there will think, oh, Vikings, they're just like savage berserkers who flail wildly with big axes and have it work.
No, Viking culture was incredibly robust.
Yes, and they actually
They
had
were
developed,
light years ahead of everyone.
they developed a martial arts system heavily grappling focused called Glima, Glima.
Alright, tell me about Glima. I love grappling.
It's a complete martial arts system that involves, striking, wrestling, throwing people to the ground, actually killing them in certain variations. It's still practiced today, but only in, like, Iceland?
Time to go to Iceland to learn Glima. Alright, what is it?
It has a couple of really interesting things about it. They also did have high quality steel. That's its own rant.
The quality of steel in Norway was incredible.
The thing about Glima, though, the reason I also personally really want to learn it is it actually had techniques that were based around using superior size and strength to overwhelm weaker opponents as quickly as possible.
Mop. Sounds promising to me.
But it was a battlefield technique for, throwing someone to the ground after you had lost your sword, very similar to Jiu-Jitsu.
Lost your sword, lost your shield. Well, I suppose, is Glima expected to have a shield? I expected to still have your shield. I suppose if you're a Viking, you should not lose your shield at any point.
Actually, shields were pretty disposable in Viking culture. You expected to make a new one every battle because the last one would have broken.
Well, I mean, during battle is the thing.
I mean, even during battle, that shit would break and you'd have a spare hand to start wrestling with.
Reasonable.
Also, the thing about that Simple Walker is that they actually had, like, not particularly good quality steel native to the land. Most Viking steel was actually gotten from swamp steel. Basically, there'd be these rust pellets that they'd collect from swamps by just pulling them out because there was a bacteria that digests certain things and shits out rust.
And then they just refined the rust. Genius.
They refined the rust into workable equipment, and then they had trade routes, and then they started getting freaking Damascus steel against these smiths who could turn literal rust pellets into adequate quality swords.
Carbon nanotube time, everyone.
Yep, and then they just had, swords that you would sell an entire village to get one of.
And All Bones Jones is drinking cursed beer. It's beer that was accidentally made to have 4 times, or rather 8 times, the alcohol concentration.
Yeah, it's like... I can't remember if it's 40% or 40 proof. It's like...
If it's 40,
if
it's 40 proof and it's only 4 times stronger.
I think it's 80. It's
80
way...
proof.
Like, 3 of these could wipe me out. If I chuck 3 of these, it'll wipe me out as hard as 30 shots.
Alright, then yes, it's probably 80% then. Or rather, 40%.
Yeah, it's basically the Black Plague.
Your
Also,
alcohol tolerance is decent, but it's surprisingly low.
I only for zero VTubers. Thank you so much for the follow.
Yes, it
I
is a
don't tell
beer.
this to a lot of people.
Oh, what?
In fact, believe it or not, this might blow your mind.
I don't believe it. What are you going to say?
But out of all of my followers,
All of them?
all 722, in fact,
All 722 of them.
you're actually my favorite one.
What?
I
No
know!
way.
It's crazy!
Can you just show favoritism that way? That doesn't seem fair.
It's fine. It's favoritism that comes from the heart, which makes it acceptable.
I understand. I should
'Cause-
start putting favorites among my Kondeshi.
I understand the hidden message encoded into your username that you only follow VTuber. But I also really enjoy reading your name wrong by reading out 0 as 0. I zeronly for zero VTubers.
So, how would they even distill beer to beer like that? Making a bunch of non-alcoholic beer and putting all the alcohol from that bag into one solid batch? What did actually happen? Did you hear from
I
that?
don't know. I have got no idea. I just heard that this local brewery was had a ruined product because it was literally next to the place I was working at the time.
So it's a mystery bundle. Maybe it was a curse by a witch. Maybe a witch said, this beer will be especially alcoholic.
But I went over there for my lunch break as I usually did. Because drinking on the job is based.
Anything to make the day go faster, right?
Right? And they were like, yeah, so we have this crappy beer that we can't sell. You want? And I'm like, sure.
Oh, the only man for the job, the only man to drink the curse. He'll accept all the curses into himself.
And so I got like 8 cases of cursed beer for ridiculously cheap.
Come at us, Omri.
Oh, Amber 42! Been a
Great as
while
well,
since
Omri.
you rated and followed me like you do every stream.
It's 5 seconds ago.
Yeah, he unfollows me at the start of every stream and then follows me during the stream to get the alert. Absolutely based. I love it.
That sounds like what you do, Jones.
It does. It's such an incredible big dick energy.
There's no reason I don't have alerts anymore, Jones.
Because you don't want people to follow you and boost your numbers.
I don't want people to follow me and boost my numbers.
If I could donate, does that mean I'm paying his indulgence? No,
Yes.
that money
No?
is actually going to people who will smuggle me out of this place.
Oh, I see.
Because, I mean, I'll probably do that lore stream at 1,000 followers, which isn't actually that far off at this point.
No, you're not that far off at all.
But, it's called Purgatory. It's not quite the biblical purgatory. It's kind of complicated, as most things in life tend to be.
So it goes. So it
goes.
I mean, do you ever think about how the first circle of hell are the Elysian fields? And that's a better deal than Purgatory.
Yeah. The problem with that, though, is, like, this place isn't actually... I mean, it's called Purgatory, but that's not its name.
Alright. What is it?
I don't fucking... It's some bullshit that has, like, 12 X's in it and, like, 3 ch's in it. I can't pronounce it.
Yeah, I can tell you.
Oh? Pretty much, actually.
Right? It's not right?
It's close enough. And the thing is, a bunch of Catholics wound up here and started calling it Purgatory. So that became its name, even though that wasn't what the people native to this underworld called it.
Again, it's the Catholics' fault. They ruin everything.
Yep. Ah,
Come on,
Bunzel
Bunzel.
raiding again! Come at us!
It's 4 people, Jones. It's impressive. That's an actual raid size at that point, but, how do I say
Pretty
this?
much.
Jones.
Welcome back, Bunzel.
I mean, let me try.
What were you streaming, Bunzel?
Yes,
what
were you doing, Bunzel? Let's hear it.
Zicha Zikicha Zika. That honestly, that might as well be the name. Like, I could go out to the wastes and consult the tribal elders about the proper name for this ancient land, but, like, I don't give a fuck. I don't even want to be here. I just want to leave. I don't give a shit about learning about it.
Alright, behold, Jones. Behold my power!
Oh, no. Oh, no, Kongo, what are you doing?
Look at that!
Terrifying!
That's the clothes, Jones! That's the clothes!
Oh, Bunzel getting flexed on hard here! Your daily reminder that fog watchers are less than human.
How dare you watch my VODs? How dare you!
Hey, Jefe! I should get a shout-out command at some point.
You should.
Actually, wait. Can you type exclamation point shout-out in my chat and see how it works?
Oh, certainly.
Just exclamation point SL.
Oh, SL, alright.
Yes!
Ooh, it does work.
But it only shouts out the person who types it!
That's garbage! That's useless!
It's so bad! It also has like a mini cooldown!
So, it's only for self-promotion! It's like those self-promotion channels in Discords!
Yes, exactly! And I wanted to shout out Yefe, but I literally can't! He can only shout himself out! And anyone can shout themselves out with it. It's such a useless command. I need to fix it.
There you are. I appreciate you.
There you go. Right.
There
got
you
a bunch
go.
of
You did
Final
it.
Fantasy 14. I think I saw that. Oh man, I'm almost done this third beer actually.
Alright, finish this up, then we'll raid someone, Jones.
One more chug and it'll be done with, and then I'll have to sober up and do a bunch of bullshit.
The final chug.
Now you're getting it, Russian bro. It's a bait. I bait them into coming into my stream and shutting themselves out. Because fuck viewers.
Do you ever think about Discord channels that just have, oh, shout out yourself here?
Oh, dude, I link myself in like dozens of those
Oh,
before
I
every
know you
single
do,
time
I
we
know
go
you
live.
do. But what I'm saying is, they have to have those so that they don't try to shout themselves out in any other part of the channel. It's literally the cesspool of the Discord channel.
Actually, my server has the favorite version of those, and you'll definitely appreciate it.
Tell me about it.
So instead of having something, like stealth promotions or whatever, the channel
Alright.
name for linking your own streams in my Discord
What is it?
Clout Chasing.
The cloud chasing channel, the CCC.
Cause it's honest, that's what you're doing. And if you have the balls to admit to it, yeah, you can have
You
it.
deserve
It's
it. You
fine.
deserve it.
If you have the courage, the integrity, and the bravery to admit to what you're doing, then you can do the thing you want.
What will you do for that ounce of clout?
Hey man, just you wait till I break 20 bajillion followers. Oh wait, I probably won't ever break 20 bajillion followers.
I mean, there are not even that many people in the world who were ever born, Jones.
That's fine, I can hit that anyway. The reason I won't ever hit 20 bajillion followers is I'll probably graduate and join Holostars at some point.
Looking forward to it. I am a person who cares zero about clout. It's actually ridiculous how little I care about it.
I will draw a picture for that clout, simple as. I mean, Diggy does get a free shout out on my Twitter page. Every single time anyone visits, because he's the guy. He does all of my art. I mean, he doesn't do the background stuff because that's
you know
my
what? It's
personal
not
stuff.
getting free clout here because you can't do anything with this. I tried, and yet it fails.
Oh, Bunzel, you are so right. I need to do more blindfolded Mario Paint streams. So that I can... Did you see that actually reply chain that I made where I just drew a bunch of Hololive?
I did see it, and 3 shoujos.
Not the shoujos yet. They're next on the schedule, and after that is DG Sanji.
Exciting.
And I actually got like retweets from that and like likes and follows from people I'd never seen before. It actually worked.
They just consider it legitimate engagement. They love it.
It was originally a shit post. Just for the sake of, cloud chasing, but it works.
Cloud chasing. It turns out you actually got some cloud from it.
Which
You
means I
find
need to do it
clout in
more.
the most unexpected places.
Alright, I have finished my third cursed beer, which means it's
Well
time to
done.
raid.
Drink some water, and let's raid someone.
Alright, who are we raiding?
Who are we raiding? Do I get to pick? Really?
You do get to pick. You're the guest. You get to pick. That's my rule.
I'm the guest that gets a pick? That's surprising. Let me see. I think we should raid. Let's go ahead and raid. Let's see. Who do we have here?
Rebel Earth Sky?
Is Rebel and Sky... Can you raid them, though? I mean, I wouldn't mind.
No, but I can try.
Give it a shot anyway. I want to see it.
There's
Give
a
it
problem
shot.
starting this raid. Please try again in a minute.
No, they're invincible. Their defense is too strong.
Unconquerable defense. Even my fucking steel-bending levels of strength can't... I wanted to say impregnate their defense, but that's not the right term.
No, I don't think you want to impregnate anyone's defense. If
I
I'm
want
being
to
honest with you.
penetrate it. There we go. There's the term.
So there's a character named Croix, or rather Crow, in the game Art and Elico 2. And his special move, which he shouts at the top of his lungs, is Maximum Penetration! He is a handsome character. He's meant to be taken completely seriously. But every single fight you do, he shouts Maximum Penetration.
What an absolute Chad!
Right, that's a Chad right there. That's a Chad. So let's go ahead and raid Chrono Chi then.
How do I spell that?
I'll type it out for you. Here we go.
Perfect, because I can't.
I know that you
I'm
can't
three
type
cur-
right
this
now.
is
I
like-
understand.
Almost 30 shots in. Chrono. That's the right one? Yeah! Alright.
But alright, everyone. Survive until next time.
Amber for the last second raid!
Every single time.
Any last words, Gongo, that you want to pass on to the sinners?
No, I will never promote myself, ever. You know what I've actually been considering? I've been considering unfollowing everyone on Twitter so I don't have a dashboard. And I probably will do that in the near future.
Well, have fun with that. I'm still gonna go for follow to steadily build the clout.
No, I understand. You need that clout. You crave that clout.
Alright, let's hit that raid now button.
Go for it.
Alright, now I'm gonna hit the stop streaming button.